Wow. Well, hello and welcome to Wrexham. This feels quite something. Wrexham in the second tier for the first time since 1982. And I've got to say, this is already a hell of an occasion. I'm Mark Griffiths. I'm joined by Mia Roberts and Andy Morrell. And we'll be bringing you Southampton v Wrexham live from the Championship in an absolute cacophony. I mean, I've been to plenty of football grounds around the world. This is loud, isn't it, Mia?
It's unbelievably loud. I just still can't believe it's all real. You know, I just pinching myself for the last, since Charlton at home, really. It just doesn't feel right as the fire and flames go off in front of us. This is a Premier League stadium. You know, little old Wrexham. What are we doing here? But this is our reality now, and this is our moment, and this is our time. And I'm so excited for this season to get underway. There's, you know, it's a lot of uncertainty of what the expectation is for our hopes and what to expect this season. But you know, how many times have we said it? You know, we trust in Phil Parkinson. We now trust in these players. You know, old and new. And how many times have they delivered? But this is a big test. But the biggest of tests can sometimes bring out the biggest of performances. So I, completely expect that again today. I think they're going to be right up for it. We've got 6 new players straight into that first starting 11, and they're all going to have absolutely so much to prove, and they're going to be so desperate to get a touch on that ball as soon as they can and make a massive impact for this football club.
Well, I can't disagree with that because I couldn't hear a word of it. It's so loud here, it's amazing. But I tell you what, as the flamethrowers go up around the pitch, wow, I mean, we are in the big time. I think there's no question about that. The teams, let's have a look at them. Now, a couple of surprises for Southampton. Gavin Bazunu is in goal, as expected. The centre-backs, well, they got Joshua Kwashi and Jack Stevens, Ronnie Edwards and Yuri Sagawa. So it looks like they may have gone with 3 at the back. Edwards as the right-sided centre-back, Sugawara on the right, Wellington on the left. In midfield, now, interesting when they're suddenly making an alteration like that. They brought in Flynn Downs, who's been out injured and has missed a chunk of pre-season. And in midfield, which, quite frankly, you look at it and you think, well, did they need an extra pair of legs? Shea Charles is extremely energetic, but they've essentially got 3 up front in Adam Armstrong, Ryan Fraser and Jay Robinson, playing 2 in the middle like that against Wrexham's 3 with Downs, who's a quality midfielder, but may not be fully fit. That's a bit of a gamble, I would argue.
Yeah, that's the area of the pitch I'm looking at, thinking, can we get those legs of O'Brien and George Dobson working twice as hard as theirs? And can we just outrun them and outnumber them in that middle of the park? And then it's just so exciting. I mean, looking at that Southampton side, you can see the quality. I know they've only made 2 signings this summer since getting relegated from the Premier League. I think there's going to be still a few outgoings. You know, some of those quality players, Dibbling not in the squad today. Fernandez on the bench, he looks another one possibly set to leave. But they've still got so much quality. I mean, we're talking about could Charles and Flynn still get overrun in there, Flynn Downs that is. But they're 2 quality players. Shea Charles had a really good season on loan last year out in Sheffield. Still such a young player, Man City Academy. But there's so much talent in there, and you've just got to hope this Wrexham team's ready for that.
Let's have a look at our Wrexham team then. Wrexham playing in our new change kit of yellow and green. And we line up with Danny Ward making his 2nd debut for the club. At the back, Connor Cody with Lewis Brunt and Max Cleworth either side of him. Our wing backs, well, Ryan Longman has had a knock. He's on the bench, but it's Ryan Barnett who starts on the right. On the left, another debutant, Libby Kakache. In the centre of midfield, Matty James, flanked by George Dobson and Lewis O'Brien. And then up front, Josh Windass and Kiefer Moore. Subs for Wrexham. Arthur Okonkwo, Owen O'Connell, James McLean, Ryan Hardy, George Evans, Sam Smith, Elliot Lee, Harry Ashfield and Ryan Longman, of course. 9 subs allowed in the Championship. as the Southampton anthem when the Saints go marching in rings around the stadium. Wow, the noise continues. Brilliant sound from the Wrexham end. Any surprises in that Wrexham lineup for you?
I think Ward is probably the one. I had a feeling he might come back in or might come in to replace Arthur. I just thought Arthur had a couple of errors in that Groningen game, and apparently Danny Ward's been training ever so well, really putting pressure on him. But apart from that, I was pretty much expecting. I thought maybe Longman ahead of Barnett, but that just shows the quality in that area of the pitch. And I'm just looking at that away end. We've got a beautiful, beautiful flag going around. Oh, Joey, God bless you, King Joey. We miss you. You'll be watching in the best seat in the house today, I'm sure. Wrexham legend, and you'll never, ever be forgotten. We love you. God bless.
Wow, this is going to be quite something. By the way, the Southampton bench is interesting because they've got a couple of players on there. Matty Fernandez, of course, who's a subject of lots of offers from the Premier League and Atletico Madrid. He didn't train this week, but he's on the bench. Absent is Tyler Dibbling, who Everton have been after all week. To be fair, though, he's only played an hour in pre-season and he's not ready anyway. As Wrexham are ready to get started in those yellow shirts, green shorts against Southampton, their traditional red and white shirts, black shorts. Wow, you may be wondering why Andy is so quiet. It's because, bless him, we don't have enough microphones, so he'll be jumping in later, don't worry. But it's me and Mia to start off with, as Wrexham are just waiting for the go-ahead from the ref, James Bell. I was interested that Southampton, who played all season with a 4-2-3-1, have gone with this three at the back. They turned around their Brighton game as away we go last Saturday with this formation in the last 20 minutes. But interesting to see how it actually beds down as Wrexham are throwing in our own half. It was very much a throwing a kitchen sink approach. They had Ryan Fraser in the midfield too, which is quite a bold move. And they were up against a Brighton side who brought on 7 kids, so let's see if it works. As here, Robinson, the youngster who scored a goal, runs into trouble. Cleworth takes it from him. Barnett tries a cheeky nutmeg, isn't able to win it. Charles, good ball, finds Fraser, not much support for him, but he drives down the left channel to the edge of the area, tries a curler, it's wide. Promising work by Fraser. He was such a quality player.
Yeah, early chance goes Southampton's way, just a bit scrappy on this right hand side for Wrexham. Max and Barney not having the best of communication, just not quite sure what we're doing with the ball. Good press from Southampton. Then Ryan Fraser's just dropped off into the little hole. Connor Cody's a little bit deep, so he just drives into that space, and you've seen him do that a number of times, whether it's here or at Bournemouth. Ryan Fraser, we know he can bend those ones round. Danny Ward has it covered in the end.
So goal kick. Ward to take it. He steps up right-footed. It's his previous and only game for Wrexham against Airbus in the Welsh Cup, on the same day that Wrexham beat Brentford in the FA Cup, so we picked the youth team for a Welsh Cup game that clashed. Southampton have it back straight away. It's Kwashi, German centre-back, a big unit, a very athletic, making his debut at centre-back. Ball switched to the right, Sugawara with an inaccurate pass, and now here for the first time Kakache running forwards. Good pressure put on him though by Armstrong, and Southampton win the ball back in their own half. It's Stevens, the skipper. Kwashi, as Robinson again makes himself available. Youngster playing on the left, like I said, scored the first in that fight back from 2-0 down against Brighton when this formation worked really well. That's a nice ball out for midfield by Kwashi. Charles digs out a good ball to Fraser, who's dropped off from the front, and it's fed neatly to the right hand side, helped on by Edwards. Sugawara now 30 yards out, taking on Kakache, stands up well. Crosstall comes in, great piece of defending to prod the ball away though by Cody. Well, right straight away there, Mia, that's the experience and positioning of Cody.
Yeah, he just reads it really well, doesn't he? You're just thinking, can Kakache just get a bit tighter to his man outside on the far wing? But it's a decent ball in, low driven, but Connor Cody, like you say, reads it really well, gets a foot in, really important foot in, because the striker Armstrong's lurking.
I mean, it's great with these two young players, Brunton, Cleworth, either side of him. Cody is not just a great signing on the pitch, you feel he's going to be a great teacher. As here again is Kwashi coming forwards, good pressure put on him by Dobson, and Wrexham win it back. Barnett with a good foot in, good ball by Dobson. Moore, first time to the right side of the box. Windass can hit this, he does. Great block by Stevens, but that was quality snappy play by Wrexham on the counter.
Yeah, really positive in the press. That's what we've got to do, be confident early on.
Early corner, and Moore wants a penalty. Not given. It was taken quickly, good delivery by Barnett. As a free kick is given against O'Brien, who's not happy with that, and Barnett's having to go at the fourth official. I mean, I don't know. Moore certainly was wrestling with his man at the far post, whether it's a foul or not. Couldn't tell from up here.
Yeah, I think that's one thing this season we're going to be talking a lot about Moore. You know, does sometimes his size actually work against him? Do referees expect him to just be able to hold off the defender a bit more because he's normally bigger than them? It's definitely arms round. I think it might have been a bit of a tight, tough call. I think keeper's got hands on the defender as well.
I think the ref's got that right, to be honest. It's a 6-1 half of the other. Certainly he was being held, but equally certainly he was holding as well.
But just going back to that Wrexham press where we win the ball, Ryan Barnett, that's what we've got to do in this game. We're coming up against the Southampton team. I know they're entering in this new chapter under Will Still, but coming off the back of a really poor season, low momentum compared to a Wrexham team who are still on that high. So, you know, if we get something early on, the crowd are going to feel it. They're not full of confidence themselves.
As Moore takes a late challenge from Downs in midfield, free kick. Sort of challenge, gets a yellow card in quarter of an hour. But yeah, it's a good little spell of possession then as well by Wrexham, and something you noticed in the Groningen game, and with that attack that ended with the shot by Windass and that little sequence then, you bring in higher quality players, you get a much snappier, faster movement of the ball. That's what we're doing. Is here again is Dobson putting pressure on Stevens as well to get his head up and find Sugawara, who can break down the right now. Feeds it inside, poor ball, well read by Cody. And now Wrexham with O'Brien on the halfway line. Nice little pass inside for Moore. He might be looking for Windass. Moore fouled again by Downs. Ref still doesn't speak to him. I'm sorry, twice in a minute. To me, that's a pattern. You want to act on that, ref, don't you?
Yeah, but already early on, first 5 minutes, keeping Moore drawing in those fouls. Like I say, sometimes you might not get them. I've seen it so many times in international football with Wales, where he almost gets punished, like I say, for his height and for his strength. You know, the refs almost expect him to just hold them off, like I say. But as well, you know, how great is it to see two full Welsh internationals back in the Wrexham side in Kiefer Moore and Danny Ward. You know, it's what we've wanted to see for so long.
Free kick's a cute one by O'Brien to the left-hand side of the box. Fed inside, that's a good idea, looking for the overlap of O'Brien. But it's intercepted well. Cody, who played the pass, backpedals and wins the ball back though. Spread quickly, Barnett up against Wellington. First touch just takes him backwards a little bit. I want to see Wrexham get at Wellington. He's a good footballer. I don't think he's a very good defender. Moore, it's a cute idea, nodding it down, and Windass as well to control that. Works it wide to Barnett. Barnett does have a chance to go at Wellington. Windass runs down the line and maybe gets in his space, but Barnett wins a corner off the full back. And this is a promising start after that early fright.
Yeah, really good response from Wrexham after, like you say, an early opportunity for Southampton, and you were just thinking, right, we just need to get back on the ball and get a bit of a hold of it and not let Southampton dominate early on. But Wrexham have responded really well, like I say, and you know, already you can see those movements from Kiefer Moore looking to get that direct ball over the top.
Short corner once more. Matty James to the edge of the area. Bit of space here. Swept in nicely to the far post of Paloma. That's a big chance for Wrexham. Lovely delivery into the end 6-yard box, and it's Cody who volleys it over. Great chance that for him, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously something they've worked on. We saw a similar sort of corner set piece towards the end of last season at Charlton, and it's a really good little knock back into the box. Southampton, they're definitely onside, we know that, and it's a really good chance, isn't it, for Connor Cody? I think he'll be disappointed with that one.
Hell of a chance. That's 6 yards out. Defender waved his foot in front of him. Might just have taken his eye off the ball because of that, but this is good from Wrexham. And here they come again now. Matty James quickly helped on by Dobson, who's got into the pace of this game quickly. Cleworth on the right in midfield, back inside to Dobson. Wrexham slow it down a bit. Southampton were men behind the ball. Barnett beats Wellington. Lovely feet. Lots of space. Drives into the box. Right hand side. Delivers. Good interception. Off balance by Quashie. And now can Robinson break? Wrexham have got into shape quickly. Ball fed up to the halfway line. Cleworth, good tackle. No foul given to Wrexham. Parkinson furious. But it's a poor ball forwards and Charles won't get onto that. I think they had a case for a foul there, but yeah, Wrexham put good pressure on that ball in midfield and forced the poor pass anyway.
Yeah, and again, Ryan Barnett looking sharp against Wellington. We thought that could be a really good duel early on, chatting about the game.
Here comes Robinson again. Drives in the box, left channel, cuts inside, walks straight into the challenge by Cleworth, but it's picked up again. Fraser now up against Barnett on the left, sweeps the ball to the far post. It's a good one, well defended. Kakache gets it well to head it clear. Picked up by Edwards. Fans tell him to shoot. That would have been insane. Gets it back again. The fans tell him to shoot once more. He's in midfield. And in the end, Quashie helps it across. Wellington, left hand side. And Wrexham now with the mid-block in possession, forcing Southampton to move it around in midfield and probe. We've had 10th minutes here, and Wrexham looking perfectly at home against a side who were in the Premier League last season. Nice ball forwards by Charles. Good foot in by Cleworth. He got touch tight and robbed the ball from Robinson. Cleworth again just using the ball intelligently. Wrexham now at Dobson. Knocking it over the top, looking for Moore, who's not going to get there. Stevens lets it bounce, but is in control. Back to Bazuna. Moore gets close to him, and now Windass is putting pressure on, but Southampton are moving it around nicely in midfield. Pop back to Edwards, who plays it long, but Armstrong's not going to get there. Cody lets it bounce and gives it away. Downs driving forwards, holding it up 35 yards out. Turns nicely. Good pressure on him, no foul. That's a good tackle that by Kakache. Southampton win it back though. Cross again from Fraser. Robinson heads it back in and wide. So speculative little nod. But they're starting to get back into it down the flank, Southampton, aren't they?
Yeah, and you can see their quality. I think just on that tackle from Kakache, I think he almost thought the ref was going to blow for it and kind of stopped. And we could have probably nicked the ball back, but again, Wrexham showing good shape, which is impressive, you know, considering 6 new signings straight into this starting 11. Haven't played many minutes together. Those are the areas, these are the bits that you notice more with teams that maybe haven't quite gelled yet, but all looks promising so far.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've got to say, I certainly didn't feel any concern about this season when you see the quality of players you brought in. But it is nice on the opening day to just see you settle straight into this. And it's a good game. It's well contested, but we look comfortable in it. As the referee ignores a Southampton shout for a foul. Good ball by Charles. Chance now. Shot comes in. Side netting. It was a good overlap by Wellington, but Ward always knew it was going wide for a tightish angle.
Yeah, showed his pace there, Wellington. Just sort of letting that ball bounce in that middle of the park. Connor Cody a few minutes ago, Matty James this time just doesn't quite read it and can't win it, and it just makes life a bit difficult. Ryan Barnett does well to just get back. I think he might just put him off his presence, but decent strike by Wellington. But like you say, Danny Ward covered all day.
Remember, you can get in touch using the hashtag AskWrexham, as always, on Twitter and Blue Sky. As more, it's a lovely touch. Windass now has got Kakache and acres of space on the left. Robert takes it across and then comes back in. It's a curler! Hit the bar! Goes behind for the goal kick. Wow. I was thinking, why are you giving it to Kakache? That's why, because he hit 25 yarders onto the bar. Great strike.
Well, we spoke about him a lot last week at Groningen, just saying he's got that sort of magic you just always expect. He can just produce these moments out of nowhere. And again, just seeing the start of what I hope to be a really fantastic partnership, almost like a new sort of chapter, that 10 and number 9. I know Kiefer Moore's 19, but it's almost like that Ollie Palmer, Paul Mullins sort of next level. No disrespect to them two, of course, but just that partnership already, you can just see it blossoming. And what a strike, Josh Windass. Yeah, that was a hell of an effort, wasn't it? He's a quality player. No doubt about that. Southampton moved round at the back. Goes back in the end to Bazuna.
who is extremely good with the ball at his feet. Wrexham are pressing high at the pitch though. Wellington's done well, he's come inside Barnett, still deep in his own half. Good tackle by Barnett. Wellington does well to ride it, and Downs as well. Switches it, now they've got men over on the left as they break down the right. Fraser takes over, Wrexham have got back now, and that man advantage is gone. Southampton keep the ball. Fraser a little lay-off, a give and go, but Edwards doesn't return and then apologises for not rolling Fraser in. And Southampton now back on the halfway line. Kouachi run over the top by Robinson, makes a bit of space as it's fed in to Charles in midfield, but Dobson sticks to him. Stevens helping it on to Edwards. Southampton looking to probe, couple of runs made. Edwards doesn't use them. The two players running rather occupied the same space. Here's the tricky Fraser again running into trouble, and again the referee's right to say no foul. The ball is fed down the line nicely by Kakache. Moore, nice work, wins the throw-in when he was surrounded by defenders.
Yeah, there's been a few like that where Southampton gone down just expecting the ref to blow his whistle and give him something, but he's not doing it. He's letting the game play and letting the game flow, which is what we like to see. It's been a really good opening 14 minutes or so. Just, again, can Wrexham just keep hold of it? We've had a few chances already though, haven't we?
Will Still eagerly making notes in his debut as Southampton manager as he wins a free kick. Moore backing into his man. Stevens helps it across to the left-hand side. Kouachi has got Armstrong dropping off to offer, and Robinson. Wellington looking to stretch Wrexham's defence, but it goes to the other side. Edwards now helping it on. Fraser again in the middle of everything, just feeding it back. Fraser from a sort of nominal starting point on the right is drifting around and coming inside, making space for overlaps. Bazunu, like I said, is very good with the ball to his feet. Not necessarily the reputation he has, because he had a rough time of it at first at Southampton when he, well, essentially Ralph Hasenhüttl used him as the third centre-back, and occasionally he made mistakes and was punished for it. To be fair to the guy, he was carrying out orders. That's on the manager, I would argue, more than the keeper. But he is very good with the ball to his feet, and Southampton look to play in that way. He'll be very handy. Brunt with the throw in then, just short of the halfway line, left hand side. 15 minutes gone, still no score. Helped on well by Moore, but nobody can get to it. It's headed clear. Downs as well to get a touch and then drives onto it. Good foot in that on the left hand side by Brunt to get it partly clear. And the ball back again to Edwards. Bazunu. Wrexham again. I've had good distances between. Oh, it's a good work by Mundas, putting a crash on Kouachi, and Moore nearly managed to nick the ball off him in the Southampton area. But he gets it back to Bazunu, and he passes it out, and now Southampton can try to build once more. Matty James holding up Charles, stopping him getting forward. There's a nice flow to this game, isn't there? Both sides are showing threat. Kouachi over the top, looking for Fraser. Cody reads it well and intelligently nods it down for Cleworth. He's still put under pressure by Armstrong, but it's helped clear. Only up to the halfway line. Kouachi gives it away to the anger of the Southampton team, and Dodson follows Mia's advice and calmly plays it back. The back pass by James isn't the best award, who has to thrash it out to play in the halfway line, no?
Yeah, I just thought Dobson had a bit more time there. Just someone, you know, just give him a shout in his ear. He just pings it into Lewis Brunt, and just, again, it keeps that intensity, and you just want to, you know, slow it down a little bit, just get a hold, because then it's fizzed into Lewis Brunt, and then it's fizzed into Danny Ward, and then we end up losing possession.
Here's Kouachi once more, bringing the ball out from the back, put under pressure by Windass. He feeds it down the line. Robinson out wide, good tackle. Cleworth wins it from him. Barnett now clipping it early. It's the Wrexham fans, as they did. Oh, hang on, O'Brien's chasing a loose back header. Stevens just beats him to it. Yeah, the Wrexham fans before the game were deafening, singing Joey Jones, and they're doing it again now. There's a great banner that you mentioned before, Mia. Lovely to see. Here's Fraser again, dropping off to the halfway line, looking for the pace of Sugawara. Kakache gets a foot to it, but can't stop Sugawara getting onto it. It's fed back, ball comes in, shooting chance, good save by Ward. It's struck well by Robinson, comes in again, Robinson again, blocked well, Downs hits it, deflected over the bar by Cleworth. Oh, Wrexham were lucky there, good save by Ward, and then a big deflection, could have gone in, but took it over.
Yeah, a couple of chances in quick succession. Wrexham do well, Kakache at first, just can't quite judge the bounce of the ball. And then it's a really good save, bottom corner for Danny Ward, and it comes back in, and just trying to get bodies in the way. I think it's Cleworth at first, and then George Dobson just absolutely throws himself in the way of it, does really well.
Here we go then, away swinging corner. Big crowd of players on the edge of the box, attack the far post, headed away comfortably. Downs nods it down, and it'll go all the way back to Bazunu, to the anger of the Southampton fans, but the way that ball's made to Wellington, it doesn't get much option really. It's a big diagonal, good ball towards Edwards. It heads in the goal mouth, just beyond Armstrong. He'd managed to pop up unmarked in the 6-yard box. Good run by Armstrong, just too much on the header.
Yeah, it's a great idea from Edwards. Just finds himself in that bit of space. Max is backtracking, so can't quite judge whether to jump with him. But in the end, just gets it wrong.
Here comes Southampton again. Wrexham just having to weather the storm a bit here, but they win a throw in midfield, and a bit of a relief that I think. We need to just calm things down. Last 5 minutes, Southampton had taken a grip.
Yeah, but that's where I go back to that intensity when we do get on the ball, like in that last sort of moment with George Dobson a few minutes prior. We've just got to not play at their intensity. Can we get it on our pace and just slow it down? Can we take control?
I'm afraid we don't deliver that, because a sloppy pass by Windass in midfield, and Southampton have a throw 30 yards out. But we just need to slow this down a bit here, calm things down, and get back to what we were doing so well in the opening 10-15 minutes of the game, as we win the ball back nicely. Kakache with a measured header to win it back. Windass with a great through ball. Moore is onside, down the left into the box. Can he get the shot off? He goes down in the area, and the ref has given it. Wow, I felt generous, that to me at first glance, but Wrexham have a penalty. Edwards, the player who conceded it, is furious, man.
Yeah, first of all, it's a great ball from Josh Windass. I couldn't quite see how he managed to pick him out. He gets his head up really well initially. It's a lovely little poke through, and then you just think Keeper Moore is through. I know he hasn't got too much pace, but he's definitely pushed him in the back there, hasn't he? Edwards, it's quite naive, two hands, and Keeper's always going to read that and go down.
Well, I mean, so much to say about that, but firstly, that's a penalty. It was Stevens who was coming across, and I think Stevens was in a position to make it difficult for Moore, and Edwards ran it behind him and pushed him in the back. So Windass on his debut, right-footed. Bunzunu's dancing side to side to put him off. It's a really wide angle for the right-footed Windass. The Southampton fans behind the goal whistle. Windass waits for the referee, who's taking a long time getting those defenders out of the box. Bazunu has stopped moving now. Here we go. There's the go-ahead. Windass sets himself. Scores! Wrexham score! We are leading in the championship at Southampton. The first goal we scored in the second tier since Mick Vinter completed a hat-trick in 1982 on the day we got relegated. Wow. Tucked it in, right, not in the corner, but Bazunu couldn't get it quickly enough. Very cool.
Well, never in doubt, was it? Josh Windass, like I said, did so well to set it up, the ball through for Keeper Moore, and steps up full of confidence and gets his first goal competitively in a Wrexham shirt. Hopefully the first of many. Just watches the keeper as well, doesn't he? I think he reads it, has a quick look up. It's a lovely little strike. Bazunu might be a little bit disappointed maybe, but 1-0 Wrexham. Game on.
Yeah, Bazunu, I'm not sure whether he was going to go right. He was quite flat-footed actually, wasn't he? He went the other side, and he just couldn't get down to it. Southampton, Not sure if they've called a sub in. As Cody does well to win it back and strides forward. Windass running over the top. Cody's pass doesn't have enough angle on it. Although Bazunu has to come out of the box and just about runs it behind for a goal kick with Windass on his back. But that was such a stupid penalty to give away. I mean, absolutely remarkable that.
Yeah, I mean, you're told as a defender, as soon as those two arms, two hands on the back are there, you're always going to be in trouble. You're just giving a referee a decision to make. And like you say, I agree. I thought Jack Stephens had done really well to recover and get back in and sort of angle his run to sort of cut off Kiefer Moore, who didn't really look like he was opening up for the shot. And yeah, I think Edwards will be really disappointed looking back at that one.
His Downs now having to accelerate to beat Akache to it in the wing and work it wide. Edwards, little give and go to Sagawa, but good challenge that, stepping in on him by Brunt, who was chasing up the pitch, and now Wrexham will win it back because of his endeavour. Dobson quickly out to Barnett. He's got Wellington isolated. Barnett has got Dobson going on the overlap as he runs at him. Support now for the fullback. Dobson receives, cross too close to the keeper. Bazunu races out to try and deliver, and there's no one up front. And again, the Southampton fans are getting twitchy. But didn't Kiefer Moore do well? I mean, he hasn't got the pace to run away from the centre-backs, but he makes sure they can't nick the ball off him. And if you do that, well, you just open up possibility that something's going to happen. And Ronnie Edwards happens, actually. Really poor defending.
Yeah, it's the quality of an experienced attacker, though, who knows contact's always going to come from somewhere. I'm not saying he's played for it, but he does so well. As Max gives away a foul. Again, a bit of a silly one. But Robinson does well, to be fair. I think he's just had a look, knows Max is there, and just leaves him.
Max Cleworth, first yellow card of the season, and a no-brainer. Robinson, it was a lovely trick to dummy it and then spin, and so Cleworth grabbed a handful of his shirt and picked up a necessary yellow. Took him for the team there because Robinson was round the back of the fence. Here's Edwards. Good endeavour by Windass. Stops him playing it down the wing for Sugawara. And Southampton have to work it along their back line again. Ball fed back to Bazunu by Robinson. And Wrexham again harrying in the Southampton half. The ball comes out to Quashie. Wrexham seem to be fairly happy with Quashie's out ball. Knocks it long. Ward's come a long way out as well. Judged that very well to get to it ahead of Robinson and put out for a throw in. To the applause of the Southampton fans, they like that ball over the top from Quashie. 2 balls on the pitch now. Referee hasn't stopped playing. In the end, it's knocked off the pitch by Robinson. And Southampton have it on the halfway line. Stephens pings it across. Fraser dropping off 35 yards out. Back to the halfway line to Edwards. 20 minutes of the half left. Wrexham 1-0 up. Still have a chance to look at us, Wrexham. Yes, it's compelling, this. Wrexham again with that good shape, forcing Southampton to be patient. Quashie on the halfway line, lifting it over the top. That's a nice idea. Ward quickly off his line again, though. And a nice idea remains just that.
Yeah, he reads it really well again, Ward. But as well, I've just been keeping an eye on Connor Cody throughout his first 26 minutes in a Wrexham shirt, and he's just constantly talking in the ear of Lewis Brunt and Max Cleworth and his midfield in front of him, and it's so valuable, especially to Max and Brunty. You know, you think of them two, obviously relatively unproven, well, completely unproven in the Championship. To have someone like him in between you, so important.
Matty James, glorious ball, looking for Windass on the right-hand side. He's offside. That was a tight call at the start of that move. Matty James just twanged the ball out to the flank with his right foot. I mean, if you're going to wear fluorescent orange boots or pink boots, then you've got to be able to play balls like that. And that second ball was beautiful. Windass just off, but it was close to the thing.
Yeah, I think that could be another sort of partnership that we could see blossom really well. We know some of the passes Matty James can make. We saw some of them in League One last year, just different quality. We know he's played at the highest level in terms of Premier League and what he can do.
Good header in midfield by Dobson, who's putting a really workmanlike shift, and a good pressure by Moore. forces Southampton into their own half. Sugawara has got Fraser offering down the line, goes back into his own half instead. And it's worked to the left by Charles. Kouachi to Wellington, 35 yards out. Nicks it inside, Wrexham again, putting good pressure on the ball. And again, a dive by Kouachi. Ref doesn't fall for it, ball given away sloppily though. And Downs has it again. Is that not a yellow card? It was really theatrical.
I heard him scream from up here.
It's farcical, that really. But anyway, Southampton are allowed to retain the ball. Ball fed back into midfield. Kouachi again, 35 yards out. Wellington clips it into the box, but it's won by Cody. Armstrong couldn't get up to that. Helped on well by Dobson, and the ref gives a foul. The crowd are getting unhappy with the ref, but I know I'm biased too. To me, the Southampton are playing for a lot, and the ref's seeing through it. There was a hand in the back there. Ref's got to give that, I think, in the penalty area. Yeah,
but that's what we need in terms of a Wrexham view. You can just feel it, can't you? The fans are sort of getting a little bit unhappy and a bit worried, sort of thinking, oh, it's not going to be another season like the last, is it? But that's what I meant earlier about that momentum, when you think, if we can get one immediately. It's a long time since Southampton have won games consistently, and they haven't got that belief that maybe they had a few years ago. I think they only won 2 games last year, so it's a big ask to suddenly turn it around and just get back into that sort of winning mentality and routine.
As Wrexham have a free kick in a dangerous position here, and again it's Edwards just incapable of dealing with Moore. Free kick by Ward towards the edge of the box. Moore looks to run onto it. He gets goal side of Edwards, just grabs hold of him. Blatant. And again, I've got to ask, he's done that in the box, he's done that there. Do you not give a yellow card now? Anyway, O'Brien with the free kick, about 30 yards out, left of centre. Everyone back defending. Holding a line just outside the box. O'Brien left-footed, gets the go-ahead. Stands it towards the penalty spot. Brunt with a header. Oh, just over. That was a chance. He's got up between 2 markers and just couldn't get on top of that. But, wow, that was a heck of a chance. And the Southampton fans again are turning.
Yeah, and Lewis O'Brien's got his hands on his head. He knows what a ball into the box. And Brunt, eyes on it all the way. And he just can't quite get over it, can he? And just put it a bit on the other side of Bazunu. It's a massive chance to go 2 ahead in the first half.
As the Southampton fans again fractious as Wrexham press on the edge of the Southampton area. And in the end, Wellington plays a hopeful ball forwards at Griffiths, into great work by Downs. And it's by O'Brien. It's Downs again, who looks to tread on his ankle. And O'Brien rightly is having a go. I'm sorry. Downs has twice conceded fouls against Moore. He's got in late there in O'Brien. I don't argue against Clue's yellow card for a second, but how Edwards and Downs aren't on yellows, I can't understand.
I think that's exactly what Phil Parkinson's making his thoughts known about. He's just pointed to Max and said, well, if you've given him a booking, why on earth has no one else had one yet? Because he's not happy about it. But again, I think it's probably one that could be, isn't it? As Phil Parkinson gets one himself.
Well, I'm sorry. The refs handled the game, apart from the yellow so far, but he bucks Parkinson and said that was the easy way out. Maybe the crowd moaning at him hasn't yet affected his decisions on free kicks, but has made them nervous for showing the yellow card and getting the grief again.
Yeah, but again, the Wrexham press wasn't perfect. It really wasn't, but Southampton just picking up on that bit of nervy atmosphere and really feeling it.
100%. Here's James again, standing it up. And Moore gets up, beaten in the air that time by Downs. And, only partially cleared, throw into Wrexham. In that, looking at the replay on the Brunt's chance as well, from what I've seen of Wellington, he's good going forwards. He's quick. He's not a good defender. And I was talking about Barnett getting at him. But he's standing a yard deeper than the other defenders for that free kick. I think Brunt may be offside if Wellington's where he should be in line. And he's just standing there daydreaming at the far side of the box. As Southampton cleared, nicely helped on by Armstrong. Fraser does well to tame that, but he can't find Downs. The ball clear is inaccurate though, and an early one in from Charles. Too much on it for Fraser. And Kakache does well, holds him off, draws the free kick. He's having a quietly impressive game at left wing back, isn't he, really, Kakache?
Yeah, that's all he needs to do, is just make sure nothing comes down his side. You don't have to do anything too special. Just do your job, do the basics right, and you'll get strong plaudits definitely from Phil Parkinson. That's the stuff he loves to see. But again, it's just that ball over the top. Conor Cody just misreads it a little bit. Then Max Cleworth actually does really well to recover. Just doesn't necessarily dive straight into Ryan Fraser, who's coming forward with the ball. He just keeps his eyes on it all the way. Manages to get it out of there.
Moore chests it down. It's fed forwards inaccurately. Cleared by Southampton. Cody was backed into by Armstrong there. Ref doesn't spot it, but it's cleared anyway by Kakache and helped on well in the air by Moore. Windass, good ball, and a quick ball out to the flank by Dobson. Barnett just beaten to it by Kwashi. Good pace by the centre back, who then tries to skin Dobson and does well to draw the free kick. Dobson grabbed hold of him. Parkinson not happy. Referee was right though, and a quick free kick sends Wellington away to Robinson, who sorts his feet out well, bypasses Cleworth, but again Southampton go down too easily. Shoulder to shoulder at worst, that, as Wellington and hurls himself at that in the air. Ball falls for James, who calms it down. That's good. Exactly what Wrexham needed there. After a frantic passage of play, now O'Brien lifts it. Kakache using his pace. He should be beaten to it, and he is, by Sugawara. Cleared by Bazunu. Well, the referee gives a free kick at the halfway line to Southampton for a push in the back. The fans on his back, but again, I mean, that was never a foul. Robinson going down much too easy on the edge of the area. You've got to be game aware to see, well, the ref doesn't give these. Let's stop wasting attacking positions. Yeah,
because it was almost like Matty James was on his wrong side in that defensive position, but he does really well and doesn't do anything wrong.
That's great work by Armstrong. He robs Cleworth in the box, squares it, but it's behind Robinson. Big tackle by O'Brien, and Cleworth clears. Great work that by Fraser, who shoulder barged Cleworth off the balls. He tried to run off the pitch, turned him, but his pass to Robinson wasn't quite right, was it? And that's what saved Wrexham.
No, I think Southampton fans were probably wishing it was the other way round. Robinson playing it into Armstrong in that scenario. But it's just, from the young man Robinson, he just doesn't quite get fed into him well enough, does it? It's just a little bounce on it. It makes it hard for him to get a strike off.
Wrexham knock it long. It's chased by Windass, but will be safely played back to Bazunu. Long ball forwards. Groans from the fans as it's straight on Cody's head, and Wrexham bring it down and start playing. Barnett's long ball is inaccurate though. Southampton end don't quite know what they want. They can play when they knock it around at the back. They can play when it goes long. Robinson cuts inside. Cleworth sticks with him. He's stepped up, and it's a ball down the flank. Finds a little bit of space for Fraser. He just pops up everywhere. Back in to Robinson. The movement in their front three is good. But Wrexham keep their shape, and they have to rebuild again. Redwood's on the right. Looks like his only option might be to go backwards. It is. Stevens under pressure from Moore. Has to go back to Bazunu. Wrexham fans applauding Wrexham's patience there. Out of the ball. Wrexham looking more like a box midfield and really clogging those passing lanes, as Kakache does well to hook it down a line, but doesn't find a teammate. And Wrexham in the mid-block go again, with Southampton looking to find their way through. Oh, I'm tired out now. Mind you, I was up at 3:30 this morning, so maybe I should be. Kwashi pass is inaccurate, but bounces luckily to Armstrong, but he's coming back from an offside position.
It was certainly tight. I was keeping an eye on that line. I think Brunt just stepped up in the nick of time. The honour of the first Arse Wrexham of the season goes to Ron Wilk-Can, who says, enjoying the game audio only. Just like the National League days. Don't hark back to the National League days too much. Great to hear Mark and Mia. Hey, that's a rhyme. I like it. Absolutely. And Mike Shull rightly says, same for me. Love to hear the Wrexham fans coming through. They are making a fabulous noise on the opposite side from us as well. So shows how well they're coming through. Free kick by Ward. Moore beaten in the air, but it's knocked back into that area again. Awkward one.
Headed partly away. Good tackle comes in by Kakache on the left side, and he wins the throw. Level the edge of the area.
Yeah, he's an interesting one, Kakache, isn't he? I mean, I can't say I've seen much of him, but coming from Serie A, you almost just expect him to be another level again, but he's done well so far in this game.
He looks to combine with another throw with O'Brien. O'Brien misreads his intentions, but the ball, well, goes out for a goal kick in the end. O'Brien tried to scoop it over the top, but Kakache dropped short. But Edwards looked to run it out for a goal kick, and it nearly ran out of steam, and Kakache was hassling him. And here we are again with the Southampton fans feeling a bit edgy as they move around on the edge of their area. But it's perfectly legitimate until a dreadful ball by Quashie. Barnett now, under pressure, was unlucky. Wellington's got a good foot in there as Barnett tried to deceive him. On the halfway line, Robinson turns nicely, switches to the right. Chance now for Sugawara to come forwards. Edwards overlaps into midfield. Wrexham midfield a little deep, down to space 35 yards out, helps it on one. Wellington rolling it down the flank. Charles with a good return pass. Wellington turns, stands the edge of the area. Downs takes it well, surrounded by yellow shirts, smuggles through, shot comes in. Ward, good hands. Armstrong shot too straight, but it came through a crowd. Ward could have fumbled. Safe hands by him.
Yeah, Flynn Downs does really well because he just gets surrounded by yellow shirts and somehow wriggles out of it. It lands at Armstrong's feet, and that's the sign of a striker just coming off the back of a season. Only 2 goals. I think maybe in a few months' time that one might end up either side of Ward, but not quite yet. But like you say, Danny Wood does well, keeps his eye on it.
Southampton look to come clear. Good skill by Armstrong. The ball bounced awkwardly, brings it under control with his head. And the ball's fed back into midfield. Charles has Fraser out wide on the left and finds it, level the edge of the area. Onto his right foot. He has an overlap, feeds it square instead. Robinson pops it on one. Return ball, Robinson takes it well. And again, goes down far too easily. Oh, James gives it away in the box though. Downs caught on the edge of the D. Ref plays advantage this time, I think. But Wrexham bodies back. It's picked up by Wellington. He runs into trouble again. The ref doesn't give it, and again he's clearly right. James clears. I mean, honestly, the only foul in there was the free kick, and I think the advantage was legitimate. The others were laughable. Yeah, as this time the ref does give a free kick, and you can hear what the Southampton fans think. But to be honest, I think that Charles went down a bit easily for that one, to be honest. Yeah. They're on his back, the ref. I think he's done judges very well. Yeah,
I think he probably should have blown for the one on the edge of the area. I think they probably would have liked the free kick from there, maybe. But it's just a few times they've just seemed to run into Matty James and sort of bounce off him. It's almost like he's just stronger. But the fans, just like we said, almost expecting the ref to blow his whistle and give them something. They've got a real opportunity here just before half time, 40th minute or so.
And trying to be dispassionate, which I hate, but trying to be. You know, if I didn't know this ref obviously doesn't believe in giving cards for accumulation of offences, I would be thinking of yellows for diving here. There's been a lot of very easy falls with very little contact from Southampton. But anyway, Wrexham are having to defend very deep, and this is a dangerous situation. Free kick on the left, but our defensive line's virtually on the goal line here. Could Ward push them out a yard, I wonder? Here it comes, right footer under the bar, headed away well. That's good work, that, by Cleworth. It's put back in, poor ball in. Barnett with a good defensive header under pressure. Chipped in by Downs, charged down well by Matty James. Ref doesn't give handball, as the Southampton fans hope for. The players didn't ask for it, and that's a nice ball down the line, is it? Not quite. Moore looking to clip it with the outside of his foot, goes out of play.
It's Matty James again. He's just in the thick of it in all of these sort of decisions that Southampton don't feel are going their way. He does well to get in the way of it, and then Kakache just can't quite release that ball with his intention.
Here's Robinson now, cutting inside once more. That's a nice idea, and Fraser hooks it just wide. That's a brilliant attempt by Fraser, and he nearly gets a great goal. In fact, a corner. Did Ward touch it? It looked like he had no chance even of reaching that, and then Fraser somehow hooked his left foot around it as we're going out for a goal kick. Got great contact on it, and hit Ward's face or shoulder. Big save, don't think he knew anything about it. Away swinging corner then. Southampton finishing the half strongly. 3 minutes left. Wrexham desperately needs to see this through. Swept in at 6-yard box, helped on, but beyond the runner. And Stevens keeps her in by the corner flag, wins a throw-in. What a big moment that was. It was a brilliant effort by Fraser.
Yeah, you just felt like it was destined to go out for that goal kick. Danny Wood does well, just make sure he reads it, makes himself big, and yeah, I think it does just smash him in the face, doesn't it? Ryan Fraser, fair play, it's quite an audacious little attempt to just stretch out and get contact. He does well, he's really unlucky.
Well, Kwashi's got the long levers, and he's going to take a long throw here, leaning back against the advertising hoardings, plenty of room for a run-up, puts it into the near post with height, good header, clear by Moore. Downs wins it well on the edge of the area, he's done that a lot, but it's cleared comfortably. And a poor touch by Kwashi, and he's got to go back with Dobson again, putting pressure on. Windass gets close to Bazunu, who Matador turns him sweetly. And now here's Kwashi again. Robinson picks it up on the halfway line, loves to get in on his right foot. Barnett blocks his progress, and so Charles takes over. Helped over to the right-hand side. Edwards on again to the right flank. Sugawara 30 yards out, drifts inside. Back to the halfway line. Edwards quickly on as Southampton side to side, just looking to stretch Wrexham around, find little spaces. But again, Wrexham just dropping off into that box shape, and they haven't got the ball, filling those gaps. Windass steps up now, he and Moore just putting pressure on the ball, and O'Brien again forcing it back. Judicious pressing by Wrexham, not a full press but just enough to force Southampton onto the back foot. We're into the last minutes of a pulsating first half. Southampton look to turn the Wrexham defence. Cody reads it, throw in, another chance if he wants to for Kwashi, who says hold on, I'm taking this. Wellington looked like he wanted to. I think Robinson's complaining to Kwashi, why didn't you get a move on then? There's not long left in the half.
Yeah, Flynn Downs was definitely saying the same thing, just play, just get it moving. But no, they're setting it up again.
So 20 seconds plus added time in this first half back in the Championship. Kwashi again with a long throw, again looping with height. Good header this time by Cleworth. Half cleared. He'll come back in. A shot is well blocked, and the ref, well, it's blocked and Windass has gone down. I think it hit him in an unfortunate area. The ref has stopped play. I am actually on the Southampton fan side for this. Let's just say it was 2/3 of the way down Windass from his head. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that pain's like, but apparently it's not very nice.
I assure you, it's not very nice. Here's the replay. Oh, that's not very nice. All I can say is, in the immortal words of Jim Bowen, it's a bullseye. Oh no, that was, what's his name? Green, the bloke with him, the caller. It's a bullseye. That was a full-on, accurate strike, shall we say. I'm relishing this too much, I should leave it, shouldn't I?
Well, yeah, I don't think Josh Windass is relishing it. Looks in some discomfort. But just as we're getting closer to the end of the first half, I mean, I don't think many would have predicted this, but Phil Parkinson will be absolutely delighted with his team's first half performance in the Championship, because they've been really, really impressive. I came to St Mary's today feeling quite positive. It almost felt like a bit of a free hit, if you like. Obviously, you want to start the season off well and sort of leave it with something. And listen, it's by no means over yet, we know that. But from what we've seen so far, with 6 new players coming in, looks like they're gelling really well and look really positive, look really bright, look confident. It's what you want to see on opening day. Just as Windass, I think he's going to have to come off, is he? Just not permanently, just for a couple of seconds. But hopefully the whistle isn't too far away.
I've got to say, though, that was a shot. I totally accept that if you're 3-4 yards away from a guy, a professional footballer, and he drives the ball there, that really, really hurts. It's not a reason to stop the game, though. You know, I mean, the ref should have carried on there, to be fair. But hey, it's taking the wind out of the game. It's taking the wind out of Windass. And as he crouches on the side of the pitch for 30 seconds, Wrexham have to defend once more. We're into the second minute of added time now. Didn't hear how much was added, actually. I was too busy wincing, I think, as the ball is fed to the right side. Chance to be Work back and a cross coming into the Wrexham box. That's a good ball and a brilliant effort by Robinson, off the line twice by Cody. My word, you can't get much closer to that without scoring, but Robinson's brilliant effort hits the post and then a brilliant block off the line to deny Downs. Windass back on, but wow, that was so close.
Yeah, they just find themselves with a couple men over on that side, don't they? It's a great ball in. I think it's Jack Stevens actually who puts it in. And it's a great little connection from Robinson, just flying in, and then Connor Cody does really well to get back in. That's a sign of a super experienced defender who knows just get in the way of it, just get on that goal line and just stop anything coming your way.
They are really knocking on this door, Wrexham hanging on. 3 minutes of added time coming up, as here comes another away swinger. Can Wrexham resist? Ball comes in, it goes through everybody. Barnett helps it on. Touch on by Windass, clear handball by Southampton, nothing given. I think there was a handball by both teams there. And it's cleared, and Dobson launches it deep into the Southampton half. I think if there was a handball by Wrexham, it was the first one, and then a Southampton player handled, and the ref didn't see either, as handball. Robinson cutting in from the left. That's a good driving run. Feeds in for Fraser. Well read. Brunt smashes it clear. Edwards is beaten to it. O'Brien did so well on the stretch, driving forwards. Feeds it in beautifully. Now danger. Kagache helps it on. Windass unmarked in the box. Moore drives into the area. Just took a touch too many. Good tackle by Kwachi, but if he delivers that, Windass scores, and there's no time for the corner because it's half time. Oh, I'm shattered. Wow. That was insanity.
This is Championship, is it? Right, okay. Let's strap in then. What an opportunity that is, though, just before half-time. I think Keeper's just got to get his head up, and he's just not quick enough to just play it across. He's just got to do it a little bit earlier. Josh Windass absolutely busting a gut to get in that box. Wow. What could have been, as I pass over to Mr. Morrell.
You're saying about the quality of the Championship, and when I'm looking at Moore running in then, I got to be honest, my thought was, I think you can hear the reception for the ref. My thought was, I mean, honestly, you bring these wonderful players in, you get them making the correct quick decision in those situations. I thought, oh, this is how we brought him in for, and he just delayed it just long enough to not be able to get that ball in. What a shame. But 1-0 up at half time. Wowee. Oh, wow. Need to check my heart rate. So are you knocking off now? It looks like Mia. She's departing. Andy's going to take over. And whoo-wee. That was something else. Let me tell you. Back in the Championship, the same old madness, quite frankly, at a rather higher stakes, higher quality. But
no, actually, first and foremost, my thoughts, I've just written a few notes from that first half. It could be 3-2. Do you know what I mean? With a couple of chances, Wardy making a save off his shoulder, not sure he knew a great deal about it, and then them hitting the post and Cody making the block. But we've equally had a couple of really gilt-edged chances which we needed to take if you're going to go and end up winning these games. So you're looking at Brunt's header all he has to do is head it down and he's got every chance of scoring. And then right at the end, if Kiefer Moore just sees it before he takes that touch and rolls it across, Windass has got an open goal to pass it into. But really lively game, exactly what I'm expecting in the first game when you're back in the Championship from coming up three divisions, you know, to a team that's coming down to try and get their fans on board. You're expecting a real clash of the Titans start to it, and I thought the tempo at the start of the game was amazing, do you know what I mean? And the noise from both sets of fans has been absolutely ridiculous, and it's good to be back, shall we say.
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, yeah, the noise there, actually, you're quite right. I mean, it's just ludicrous before the match and throughout the first half. It's just fabulous, wasn't it? And somebody in the press box, press room before the game, was asking me, and I need to swat up quickly on this, if this is a sellout, as we told it is it the biggest ever Wrexham League attendance? And it might be, and I have to search into that. It's going to be borderline.
Well, good luck. You've got a bit of time. Get onto it now, Mike. But it is. There's not a seat to be had in here. The place was well, the Wrexham end was going an hour, 45 minutes before the start of the game. They were onto it straight from the start, and you could sense the team were going to pull off that and use that to start the game. And I thought Southampton started really well, then we came into it, then Southampton had a little bit more of it, and then we got our goal right in the time when probably Southampton were just coming into the game a bit more. And then at the last 10 minutes of that half, we've been sat in and we just could not get out, and Southampton were on us. And I think they're so good in that transition of when the ball gets transitioned to them, they're straight away, they're into Fraser, they're into Robinson. He looks a player, by the way. And they look to break onto the back three. They're so narrow as a front three. Our three centre-halves are man-to-man. So any player that's coming off the midfield or coming inside from the wide ones is an extra. They look at 4v3. So it's really important that Barney and Kakache, they do their jobs defensively for their wide men, and also the midfielders, they track their runners when they do go forward. But I think it's been a really good game so far. It's been a fascinating watch, and the first half went really, really quickly.
The movement of Fraser, I mean, and Armstrong and Robinson, to be fair, but really, I mean, it presents questions, doesn't it, to defenders in terms of making quick decisions, who we're covering. Robinson keeps dropping off and then appearing in that little pocket. Fraser just goes everywhere. Armstrong's runs are good, aren't they? And audience.
Yeah, absolutely, and so it's that decision making that the higher you go, the quicker you have to make it. And so does Cleworth go in with Robinson? And if he does, there's a big gap behind him that Cody then has to fill. In case Armstrong takes that spot, Barney has to match Wellington's run on that side. So there's a lot of fluid movement in there, and they're very, very good at it. Robinson for 18 just looks like he's a player. Just reminds me a bit of Carlos Edwards, where the way he just moves with the ball, it looks so simple to him, just glides past people. He's one definitely for the future. And on obviously Armstrong at this level, he's scored goals at this level for a fair few years. So this game is definitely not done by any stretch. And Wrexham have to, when we do get the ball back, we have to have the ability to be able to keep it for a few passes, so that we just infuriate and annoy the fans that they were getting on them a little bit for the slow play. But it's been good. I really like the setup for Wrexham. It's like a boxy diamond type in midfield that we're dropping Windass into, as we did last year with Rodriguez, to make us a little bit more secure. And even our press, it's not quite worked really well, but we have gone for them when they've started to play out, which I thought that Parky might just let them play and we'll sit in our low block. But no, he's sort of gone for them. So no, I'm impressed. All the new signings as well. Obviously 6 new signings in the team. Wardy's done really well. I'm so pleased for him. He made a couple of really good saves so far. Kakache looks like a good player, just understanding his position, I think, at the moment. And Kiefer Moore, I thought he did so well for the penalty. His first touch is brilliant. His touch takes him back in, so that Edwards, he can't do anything. He's got to either leave him or foul him, and it's 2 hands in the back. It's a definite penalty for me. And Windass just slots it really coolly in that bottom corner, and that's that quality. And Windass is then, if you're just watching replays of his chance where he hit the crossbar, that's the bit of quality that he brings, and his pass for the goal as well. But that touch there just takes him in and ahead of Edwards, and so he's able to just 2 hands in the back, and it's a penalty.
It's, for me, horrible defending as well by Edwards, in the sense that Stevens is coming across, and to naked eye I thought, oh well, is that given against Stevens? In which case it didn't look like there was much contact. But you see the replay, and it's just so blatant. It's just, lean on him, because the ref's not giving it when you lean on him. I think the ref's done very well with those whole challenges, and although the fans are on his back, Southampton have gone down far too easily. But
if Kiefer Moore does get a shot off, he's going to be a little bit off balance, or it's right in between his feet, so he can't get a good swing on his left foot. So really, are you better off just, like you say, easing him a little bit and trying to let him shoot, because like Stevens was there. But it makes Kiefer Moore's mind up. I think as he's about to hit it, he's going, please push me over here, because it gets me out of a bit of a sticky situation.
And it just shows the quality, like you say, the quality of players we bring in. Moore is not Usain Bolt. And when he's one-on-one in that situation, you think, okay, he's got a 5 yards head start because of timing of the run. And having seen that wider replay, you can see definitely not offside. That beautifully timed run.
My first thought.
Great ball. But that's probably not quite enough of a head start for him to be one-on-one, and yet he's smart enough to still get himself into that position where he will get a shot off if you don't do something desperate. And like I say, stepping across to draw it as well, quality.
Absolutely, and it just, he's scored goals at this level for years, and that's not one of his assets, is that running in behind, but he's made a great run, Josh Windass, with a great timing of a pass through, and like I said, it's because his first touch takes him across that Edwards, he's able to then use his body. Edwards can't touch him, or he goes down, but he decides that he does. That's the way forward for him, and he takes the penalty, and it's a really good, accomplished finish off the penalty as well.
Yeah, it looks to me like the sort where he's just waiting to see where your knees go. Because, he puts it quite close to Bazunu, but he can't get anywhere near it because he hasn't really appeared to commit, but he's got enough bend to the right to win that seat. Okay, that's fine. I know where you're going now, mate.
I think the keeper may have just stood thinking he's just going to smash this down the middle.
Is that Edwards, soon after that, gives that free kick away from a Ward free kick, just stood up. Moore gets past Edwards, he just tucks his arms out and grabs him again. And I don't know, for me, does that set your alarm bells ringing if your Will's still thinking, okay, I don't want these situations happening again, do I have to look at this? I know Edwards is a very gifted young centre-back, a wonderful player, but Moore clearly is troubling him, isn't he?
Yep, it's a steep learning curve though when you're that young. He's played a fair few games though as Edwards, but he's coming up against a really experienced Championship Premier League striker here, and so he's pushed him in the back. He's got given a penalty away. Where's his head at with that? He's then got to just refocus, restart, and then he gives a free kick away straight away. These are the things that he'll learn off really, really quickly and develop and be able to hopefully get better and better as he goes in the season, the more games that he plays. But Kiefer Moore knows that he's got him rattled a little bit, so go and play on him for a few minutes and try and get those free kicks and those little things. But going back to Wrexham, I think the two up front have done great. I think our shape's been good. I think Southampton are a good team, and let's not deny that they're in a bit of transition at the moment with the new manager and the amount of players that they've got on the bench that normally would play in any starting team in the Championship, but things are maybe not quite right behind the scenes, or they've got to sell them, or they've got to move them on, and they don't want to be here because they don't want to play in the Championship and all that. So there's another 3 or 4 weeks for Southampton, I think, that will take some ironing out, if you like. And reading Will Still's notes in the programme, he talks about the trauma of last season and how that can roll over into this season, and it's taken a couple of weeks in pre-season to try and iron that out for them. I still think these are going to be there or thereabouts, because once they get those problems out of the way and August's gone, players are here who want to be here, players who aren't have gone, then I think that they will then settle down and be able to go and play some decent football. To me, they had the look of a squad that will be finished at the end of the transfer window as well, and they've only brought 2 players in, Kwashi and another Downs, who is an American striker, who, what I've seen of him, because I've been trying to watch what I can of pre-season with them, looks very raw. I mean, he's a hell of a unit and he's quick, but he looks very, very raw. And you sort of think, they got Dibbling, who's being chased by Everton. They've got Fernandez, who is on the bench, and you assume if he's on the bench, he's going to come on in the second half. Yep.
And he's high quality, obviously. But you kind of almost feel like the squad will be done when those 2 have left, and then they get a week to spend a lot of money on more players almost, that
want to be here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and you've got Cameron Archer as well. I don't know whether he might be going. I mean, 7 million for that new Downs. The numbers are frightening in the team that, we thought we'd spent, and we have spent for us. We've spent over 13 million on players to bring in, and we've not touched the sides of a Southampton team. So we've got to understand still where we're at, and if we can get away with a point or 3, if we can stay in this and get it, it's an unbelievable achievement and a great start.
And as well, Harwood Bellis, who's one of the best young centre-backs in England and isn't fit at the moment, which could actually mean he stays, because it looks like he's not going to be fit when the transfer window ends. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely, it's quite something, isn't it, to be up against these sort of teams and competing. I have got a question which was sent to me for you.
Oh no.
By long-time Wrexham fan and fan of the commentaries, Don Craig. who said, when you come in as a player, a new player at a new club, how do you actually fit in at first? If you know a situation like a lot of these Wrexham players where you're going to get thrown fairly early into competitive matches, do you pick a couple of teammates to sort of focus on and work on your relationship? Do you just go all out and hope that you're reading the game the same as they are? As a manager, would you streamline the game plan and limit the complexity, or say, show us what you got? And that's what interests me, because you can see things like pressing, obviously, in Parkinson in particular, as a manager who has very clear structures, and in the past has not rushed players into the team till they've assimilated in training, but he can't do that now. So do you simplify as well, or do you just say, okay, this is how we've done it, maybe the lads who are used to it and your experience will see us through?
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of off the field stuff going on with the players to try and get them to know each other. I think the Australia trip would have been ideal for all of them to go on, but they just couldn't get the business done before they went, and it's pointless flying them out for 2 days to bring them back here. I would have said that they're trying to get the relationships early on. If I'm Kiefer Moore, I'm looking at Windass, Hardy, Smith. I'm looking at those players that I want to go and get to know, understand, watch them in training, get to know what they like, what they dislike. That's what I would be doing as a player. I'd be going round off the pitch, trying to sit with everybody at lunch, at dinner, try and find out a little bit about them, trying to see if they're my type of character, who I would like to hang around with. But also trying to, I think Cody, Ward and Kiefer and Windass, I think those 4 especially down the spine of our team have been a brilliant induction for everybody else, because Wardy obviously knows the club, but he's coming in as a big character, and I was surprised to see him start actually today. I thought they'd still stick with Okonkwo, but it was a brave decision by Parkinson. But he's been a big character since he comes in, because he knows the place, but he also knows players as well. You look for relationships. I know somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody that played with somebody, so that's who you go to first to speak to them. That's how it often works out. As
we're underway, second half, Southampton with the ball from the kick-off, and Wrexham immediately a familiar sight. Just in a bit of a sort of box midfield shape we almost fall into when we haven't got the ball, although Windass steps up now to put pressure on, and that tidy mid-block that we saw all last season that did so well for us. Dobson again ratting in midfield, 2 challenges, wins the ball back, and the ball bounces kindly to Windass, who I think tried to shoot from the halfway line on the touchline then, and wins a free kick as it ricochets back in.
Yeah, I think that was a shot as well, but he's got away with it because it bounced and rebounded straight back to him, so he didn't look like a fool because it wasn't going anywhere near where I think he was intending it to go. But a couple of sloppy passes on the side by Southampton, and Wrexham able to take advantage. I
mean, anyone who's seen Josh Windass play will know he's not shy, but that really was. He's, size of the pitch, the free kick's taken, now a flag goes up, that's tight against Windass. But it does go up.
Yeah, I thought that was tight as well. I think if he just takes one step towards his own goal, I think he's got more chance of staying on side, but the linesman was looking straight down it. I wouldn't mind seeing it again though.
So Southampton switching quickly to the right-hand side. Sugawara in front of his manager, just nicks the ball on beyond Kakache. Downs has popped up on the right flank. O'Brien's tracked his run, fed into midfield. Charles helping it on. Fraser, that's a brilliant ball inside to Charles, who cuts inside, hits a shot, and it's deflected just wide. Southampton wants handball. Ref is not interested. Oh, he did have a little listen then to his linesman, I see, after giving the corner, but he's not given the penalty. It's a corner.
Well, it didn't look like his hand was up from where we were sat, but it's handball.
Well,
it is out. It is down by his side. You've certainly seen him given, haven't we?
Absolutely. Cleworth's left arm sticking out. I'd want a penalty given for that, if I'm honest.
I 100% would as well. Yeah.
I feel, though, in general, as the corner comes in, Wrexham deal with this up to a point. Wellington does well to sort that out and drills it a shot, which is blocked. Another shot comes in, another block by Brunt this time. But Southampton keep the pressure on the edge of the area. Wrexham swarm around the ball. Ball fed back to the halfway line. Long ball into the area, free header, but across the face of goal and placed over the bar. And that was a real chance, that, when it was headed back across the face. It's a free header for Armstrong, and he's put it comfortably over.
Well, Wrexham just all at sea after the first couple of minutes. It's a free ball, right diagonal, right across the bottom. Edwards has stayed up. Free header back into the box, but it's just behind Armstrong, who just can't head it back down. I don't know where Max can put his arms really, but it's still down by his side. It still hits his hand. So, yeah, I think we would be screaming for a penalty.
Oh, 100%. But Wrexham got away with that one. And now they're scrapping in the Southampton half. Dobson can't bring the ball under control as he attacks it in the air. But Downs in the end has to step in to tidy things up, and they've opened up space on the right-hand side. Maybe doesn't come across quickly enough. Eventually Edwards has it, and Sugawara is making inroads, as is Fraser ahead of him, clearing out space. Edwards instead switches the ball across to the left of Wellington, drawing Barnes out to the halfway line. Wrexham again holding up mid-block. It's Stevens to Edwards. Wrexham, as Andy said at half-time, just need to get a bit more possession here and hold off this pressure. O'Brien does well as Edwards dallies, and that's a nice ball down the flank for Moore. Moore now driving towards the corner of the box, cuts inside and beats his man. Will he hit the shot? He will. Defender gets a block on it, and it takes the pace off. Moore is hurt as the ball works wide. He's holding his foot down on the floor. There's a hard, old-fashioned block tackle as Brunt makes a good tackle, but the loose ball is fallen for Southampton. Moore is still down, ball lifted in the box. Ward will take that, and the game is stopped. But that worried me a bit, you know, when you make contact like that and the tackles come in as well, they can do a bit of damage, can't it?
Well, I've not seen a block tackle like that for quite some time in a game, but he goes full out for it. Oh, his ankle's all gone awry, hasn't it, as he's hit it. He's not laced it, as it looks like he's going with the side foot, and it's just had a wobble up after watching that replay. Oh, that's a nasty one. He
looks in pain. That wobble on his foot didn't look nice at all.
You can't pull out, though. He's fully committed to it, so's the defender.
It's a great challenge. Like I say, it's an old-fashioned foot challenge, isn't it?
You don't see many of them at all. Normally one player just goes in a little bit easier to try and rob the ball these days, but that was full-blooded.
Yeah, that was a nasty one for him. And so just looking down the bench, because obviously being in touch with the bench, the physios are able to say if the subs needed straight away. Don't see anyone warming up.
Yeah, they are. Ryan Harding-Smith down
beg your pardon. Yeah.
Both of them are out. I would have thought Hardy would be the first one, just ahead of Smith a little bit in his coming back from the weird and odd injury that Smith's had in the off-season.
I've been looking forward to commentating on Hardy with you, because there's things he does I want to talk to you about. But that sounded slightly odd, but nonetheless. Right. But I don't want to see it in these circumstances. I want him to come on when we want to play him. He's still getting treated, and he still looks in pain. He's up on his feet now and putting weight on his ankle to test it out. Hardy is wandering back towards the bench. Moore in no rush to come off the pitch, quite rightly. And then stops to feel his ankle again. So, Wrexham hoping that their totemic new target man, who's already been brilliantly to win a penalty, can carry on.
Well, we've just not really given the fans anything to get a hold of this second half yet. Apart from that Kiefer Moore just cutting in and having that block, we need to get a hold of the ball. We are a 3 against 2 in the centre of midfield, so can we make that overload count, and by using a couple of passes to try and get out? But we've had 0 possession in this second half. It's been all Southampton, and if we're going to sit in and defend for the next 40 minutes, it's going to be excruciating to sit and watch.
Right, Moore's coming off, it looks like, and well, Smith was the one who comes sprinting back. It's Smith who's going to come on. That's interesting, because the ball's played to the right to Sugawara, who takes on his man. Could catch it as well, just close down the space. Throw in by the corner flag to Southampton, right-hand side. So, well, what a shame as Moore limps in the technical area. Throw in taken. Edwards back to Sugawara, who feeds it to the edge of the box. Charles, little ball around the corner. Fraser feeds it back, and they're patiently moving it across 30 yards out. Wrexham down to 10 men for the moment, defending on the low block. As on the left hand side, the lively Robinson comes cutting in. He has to go back. It's sped to the right hand side, help down the flank. Fraser put under good pressure, forced away from goal. He's done so well to keep possession, but that was good defending again. That time by Brunt. Cross comes in and Kakache gets a good foot in. Smith is stripped off, but the ball spins and holds and won't go out of play. So the pressure continues on Wrexham as Smith gets last minute instructions from Parkin. Left hand side, level the edge of the area. It's Wellington pleading into the near post. Poor ball. Ward intercepts and takes his time on it.
Good
You've
shout.
got that new 8-second rule now, haven't we?
They're correct, yeah. The referee's got to count.
And he's
good shout from the ref there, from Danny Ward, because the Cleworth was about to smash it into the stands, but Danny's obviously just took it ahead of him.
Well, here comes Smith then. It was a good shot, wasn't it? You know, you got to take responsibility in a situation like that as well. Sadly, Moore's debut comes to a premature end, but Smith on in his place, and not the same type of striker, but maybe stylistically a bit closer than Hardy in terms of being able to use his physicality. Let's see how it goes, as immediately Southampton are putting pressure on Wrexham down the left hand side. Robertson floats a good ball in, header towards goal, lacks power though. Comfortable take as Charles made a good run up there. Good kick, and Smith is chasing this against the two centre backs. Good work by Kwashi to get it back to Bazunu.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too easy down at the Southampton end. It's just across the pitch, switch of play out to the wide man, crossing the box, and a simple header straight at Wardy, but too easy for me. We've got to try and stop those crosses for one, and then you've got to lock onto your man in the box and not let him get a free header.
Edwards on the halfway line, coming forwards. O'Brien working hard to pick up Fraser, and Wrexham again have got that mid-block. It's Kwashi now, having to feed it out to the left-hand side. Wellington on the halfway line, but Wrexham blocking the passing lanes, just tempting Southampton to take a chance. Ball's helped on by Edwards. Sugawara, poor ball down the line, and that's what Wrexham are doing very well. Big blows from Parkinson, just that shape. You don't have to press to put players under pressure.
No, but what they do is really well is just fill across, fill gaps, fill holes as a three in midfield, just stop those balls being passed into Armstrong, into the two wide ones that are really narrow, and just make it really tough. So if they're going to go anywhere, they go around, and if they go around, then we can deal with it, because we're all going to just come across.
That's brilliant from Brunt. Looks offside. Smith, flag stay down. Smith drives in the box, tight angle, great tackle that. I thought he was off, I gotta be honest, but it was brilliant play by Brunt, wasn't it?
Yeah, class. Great soft touch as well by Brunt, and then he gets his head up straight away. Let's have a look. No, he's on. Brilliant decision as well, because he goes early. What Brunt does so well is his first touch is good, but he looks up and sees, and Smith knows that he can play that first time if he gets a chance. Just Smith's first touch, bit big inside. The difference between him and Kiefer Moore's, it just goes too much to his right. Just wants Smith on his left there to just be able to pull the trigger, but Stevens does ever so well to get across and make that covering tackle.
So, in the swinging corner, Matty James to take. Nobody in the 6-yard box for Wrexham. 4 players lurk around the penalty spot. 5, in fact. It's swept in to the far post, and too high. Goal kick. I was looking at Southampton's defending corners, and in their friendly against Espanyol, they were all over the shop. And you're just sort of looking at it thinking, it's just a surprising lack of players taking responsibility. Defenders marking too, and not turning around and screaming at the other defenders. You know, they were the man markers, they weren't the zonal markers. And, you know, so it's like, well, you got 2 at the far post here, mate. So have a go. Tell someone to help you.
Well, I think it's, like I said just at half-time, the transition of this football club here in Southampton is going to be huge, and things like that they're going to have to deal with. There's players that probably aren't that bothered whether they pick their man up or not in a friendly against Espanyol, and there's others that are desperately trying to get in the team, and so you've got a full mix of people off the pitch, away from it. They've got players talking to each other going, I don't really want to be here. There's others that going, I'm desperate to get in this team, so will you start sorting yourself out, please?
Oh, it's a lovely fleck now. Danger for Wrexham. Fraser, tight angle across the face and wide. And to be fair, Ward had that one covered.
Well, it's a brilliant little round the corner pass. I think it's Robinson. Can't quite see. But then, yeah, it's Brunt who does really well, because he stands up, forces Armstrong to take it on his left foot. And if he's going to score from there, it's got to be something special. Doesn't quite connect with it, and Wardy has it covered.
Now, the noise is because Matty Fernandez is getting ready to come on. And so too is Downs. Like I said, the big raw centre forward as Cleworth gets a good foot in to clear. It's pressure, a foul by Dobson in midfield. You know, in some ways, Dobson as a player, you're looking at and thinking, okay, he's come up. Is he a player who will have to work to keep his place at this level? He's worked very hard in this game.
Well, you know that's what he's going to give you. He's had 10 years in the Champions, in League One, and it's his first game at this level. He would be absolutely buzzing to have got this opportunity, and this is exactly why he would have come to this football club. And so he's going to be one that I'm sure in pre-season has just gone, right, I've just got to give it everything and just hopefully get in this team.
Sugawara is chasing but can't get there. Goal kick to Wrexham. And in the 60th minute, here comes the double change. And Matty Fernandez and Dion Downs will come on. Fernandez gets a terrific round of applause. Sugawara coming off, so it may well be a switch back to a back four. Sugawara, I like him a lot, but we've handled him well. He's not had space to run into. And the other change, interesting, is Armstrong coming off. I think Damien Downs is a little bit more, shall we say, Kiefer Moore.
I'm surprised. I thought Armstrong was half decent with his movement. I thought he linked up very well with the two other wingers around him, Robinson and Fraser. But this is a different animal to deal with now, and on debut, can he produce that goal that will get Southampton back into the game?
When they came back from 2-0 down against Brighton last Saturday, they made changes that went to the back three. And in fact, I couldn't see them playing back three at all in pre-season, and it looked like a real kitchen sink throwing move with Fraser as a centre mid. Well, just to show that Still is not frightened to take attacking moves. I mean, Fraser is now the wing back on the right. So keeping that three at the back system.
Well, I think they have so much possession in this second half. I think it's a positive move from Southampton to go, right, well, Fraser, you can play wing back, or you're a winger, but play in that position. Kakache's going to have to now deal with something very different to what Sugawara was giving him, whereas he probably won't track him as much if we do get the ball, but we've got to get the ball and make a few passes to get Kakache up the pitch. And Barnett, we've not seen anything of them. They've just been defending our box really in this second half.
But Ward has taken his time over this goal kick, hits it long through the middle. O'Brien going after this, well beaten in the air by Kwashi, who does have a considerable height advantage. Cody intercepts well, stabs the ball out wide. That Barnett chases, forcing Wellington to a long clearance, and it's beaten Cleworth. Ball helped on by Downs, and Cleworth just manages to get something on it, but the pressure continues. Wrexham struggling to get much of the ball. That's a good surge, and a ball in towards the edge of the area by Charles, but it's intercepted. Barnett lifts it down the line, too much on that. Kwashi will have time, and that's where we're needing to have a cool head and wait for movement and players to offer, I think, in our own half, rather than knock it like that. More likely in the Championship to be punished for failing to hold on to the ball.
Absolutely. I know we did it a lot last year, where we were in this low block and we didn't have much possession, but we've gone up a step now, and the players that we're playing against have got that little bit more quality, that little bit more pace. And you know, if you give them more and more chances, they're more than likely to take them.
Ball switched over to the left-hand side for Southampton. Wellington back to Kwashi. Yeah, it's not quite the same shape as it was, in that Fernandez is drifting around all over the place in a sort of attacking midfield role, and James is having to stay on his toes and see whether he comes into his area or not. It's a different type of movement, as Downs makes a good run over the top, but the ball isn't delivered. Instead, Southampton feed it across, and a little bit of space for Edwards 30 yards out, feeds a studied ball to the edge of the box. Fernandez turns nicely. His pass is behind Wellington, but as Wrexham are deep, and so he's able to pick it up and go for the return ball, feeds it in the box, intercepted well and cleared by Cody. Again, a Southampton player going down rather easily in the box.
Quite a lot of
Ref not
shouts,
interested.
haven't they, in this game, and the ref's not having any of it. And I'm agreeing with the ref on the majority of these cases.
The ball's carried forwards again for Southampton. Wrexham are really digging deep here. Fraser back into midfield. Kwashi chips it back to Fraser on the right. But we are digging so deep into Wrexham fans making great noise to encourage their team. Fraser plays it in dangerously. Crucial foot in. 2 crucial interceptions by Cody. And then a great tackle by Charles. Wins it back in midfield from Dobson. Spreads to the left. Barnett down the line. It's incessant. This Wrexham's hanging on. Poor ball forwards. Barnett can only hit it out for a throw. Left the edge of the area. Kwashi doesn't offer the long one on this occasion. But is there something Parkinson can do here to change this dynamic?
It just looks energy. We just look like we're a little bit passive in the way that in the first half, we were, as a movement, as a unit, we were moving across and we were a little bit more intensive than we are at the moment. We're just sort of standing in our units, but we're not going pressing when the ball comes in there. And that's what we were so good at in the first half, was that we were going and putting that bit more pressure on the crosses, bit more pressure on that midfield. They're just picking out the passes wherever they want to.
I didn't see who they were, but the 2 Wrexham subs just took their warm-ups tops off.
Well, so Longman was one and Hardy is the other.
O'Brien, that's good on the left, he cuts inside, beats Edwards. Just lost control of the ball there. Downs nicks it from him. Flynn Downs, that is. But Matty Fernandez, he wins a free kick. That looked a bit of a soft one. Free kick on the halfway line.
Yep, and Hardy. So Longman would be for Barnett. I was surprised that Barnett started. There was talk of maybe a niggle for Longman.
Yeah, that's my understanding. Yeah, the knock. As now here, Wrexham come forwards in the middle of the pitch. It's a nice first touch by Windass. He can't pick out O'Brien. Windass fighting hard is fouled. Free kick to Wrexham, about 35 yards out, central area, and a chance. As the Wrexham fans are the ones making all that noise, it's got to be said. I mean, wow.
They're trying to drive their team on because they can sense that they haven't really got those energy levels that they had in that first half, and it is the first game of the season. You know, you expect them to just drop off because the intensity of that first 20 minutes was ridiculous. But I think, yeah, just another pair of legs. I'm thinking midfield as well. Have we got anybody in there that could? James McLean, I suppose you could put in there, couldn't you? And we've got George Evans as well, Elliot Lee, just to give us some sort of more legs in there and energy for this last 25 minutes.
Free kick dinged in. Smith won the header, but nobody really around him. And it's cleared. Ward knocks it long. Now it's a well-judged run through the middle by Windass, but Edwards is able to head the ball clear. And he finds Wellington on the halfway line. Wrexham still have the subs ready to come on, as Charles takes over in the middle of the pitch. Southampton fans frustrated he doesn't move it on more quickly. And it's picked up on the right. Edwards lets Fraser take over. Edwards goes on and just pins Kakache out there. It's crowded in the middle of the pitch though, as Southampton try and come forwards and again go down too easily. Free kick not given, and Wrexham break here. Kakache feeding a ball to the stride of Smith, who goes shoulder to shoulder with Kwashi, and that's really good defending. He gets shoulder to shoulder, was strong enough and quick enough to hold Smith off.
Well, sometimes when you're a striker, you put in a 1v1 race, you look round to see who you're racing and you go, oh no. I had it a fair few times in my career, and when there's somebody bigger with a bigger stretch of foot, if you like, and a bigger body, you're like, I've not really got much chance here.
Here now on the right hand side is Fraser, chance to cross, delivers to the far post, good header clear. Once more, this time by Cleworth. He'll come back in again. Wellington squaring it on. Charles, first time's a good ball, good body shape by Fernandez, tried to turn onto it, great feet, but shoots too straight, and Ward is able to smother it. But he's class in tight areas, like Luis Suarez, just keeping his balance, quick feet.
They are all very good in those situations. They're getting more passes into those little areas, those 10 areas where they've got a chance to just manipulate the ball, which they're very, very good at. We're not able to put any tackles in. We daren't put any tackles in. Pitch's game is getting stretched now.
Ball down the left flank for Downs with a good run into out, and holds it up by the corner flag, works it back to Wellington on the left hand side. Still the subs wait to come on. Ball is squared. into midfield and then helped back out to the flank by Fernandez. He's still drifting around dangerously, gets it back in space, corner of the box, turns, drills a shot. Good save by Ward, gets down and holds it. When did Wrexham last play against a player as good as Matty Fernandez in a league match?
League match, yeah, you're right.
Never.
Could have been quite a while.
In terms of technique, I'm going to go never. He's a good, lovely player. And he's gone down hurt, actually, after that. Is that him, as hurt? Oh, no. Well,
looks like Wellington.
Wellington. And he's up again now, Wellington. As Wrexham have the ball on the right, and it's a slow build-up, which is wise. Good ball forward towards Smith, who takes it on the chest well, goes down the box asking for a foul. And that was a Southampton sort of appeal, that. You're not going to get that.
I just think we've got to keep the ball for a bit. Why not just go back? Let's go across the back three. We've just not made any passes in this second half to just give Southampton something to think about.
Yeah. I see the attraction when Smith makes that run, but I think that was a chance to keep the ball there, wasn't it? And just actually force Southampton in their own half, cross into the Wrexham box again. Cody is there to clear. Good work by Windass, gets up early and nods it onto the halfway line. Southampton have got 2 subs ready to come on.
It's more just to give us a breather. Yeah. When you get the ball, you can get your breath back a little bit, but at the moment when you haven't got it, you're constantly moving in response to where Southampton are playing the ball, and so you just never get your breath to fully recover to then go again. Yeah. But when you get the ball, you can maybe make a few passes, move it around a little bit, and you can get that breath.
Ball to the corner of the Wrexham box. Robinson, nice balance, tries to nutmeg Cleworth. Good foot in by him, and then a really hard tackle by Dobson. It's hooked back into box, and good defending again. James this time getting a toe to it to clear. But Southampton are getting to those clearances. There's no real challenges for those second ball because Wrexham are defending deep. Ball works over to the right. Fernandez popping up there. Mishits his ball into the box, so Ward takes it comfortably.
Well, it's attack v defence, isn't it? At the moment, it's like a training ground game.
Well,
2 players down. It's like platoon out there at the minute.
Well, Cody puts the ball off the pitch. Ward puts the ball off the pitch because Cody is down. But he looks to be treating himself a cramp. But the ref's called a physio on. Wellington went down again, but he's got up again.
Barnett was on his haunches as well.
Well, Windass, if those numbers are Wrexham's, and they assume they were, then Windass is coming off for Hardy to make his debut. And the poor fourth official. There's 2 of them out there with boards. They look a bit flustered. Everyone's come across to take liquid on while Cody is getting treatment. So Southampton are bringing on Ryan Manning in place of Wellington. So that's a straight swap on the left. Longman and Hardy are still waiting off the pitch, but the other change for Southampton at least sees Flynn Downs come off and Cameron Archer come on. So another attacking change, a striker for a midfielder, maybe another little tweak to the shape. And now the old of the Wrexham numbers once more. Yeah, Longman for Barnett, Hardy for Windass. Are the alterations? Windass, who of course took that comedy knock in the first half. Barnett applauding the Wrexham fans, taking his time to come off the pitch. So Hardy on for his debut, a striker who catches my eye as somebody who just loves that near post 6-yard box run. And I just thought in the very first friendly down in Australia.
Yeah, his goal.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
But it wasn't just that. I thought Barnett, you could see Longman was doing it, was looping balls into the far post, and Barnett comes on. He's just seeing Hardy doing that, and he's constantly drilling balls in. As Southampton don't give the ball back to Wrexham. Wrexham are not impressed. Parkinson's having a go at Still. And, well, that's not done, is it really? Wrexham down to 10 as well, with Cody off the pitch, having been treated. Cross comes in, and it's put behind for the corner. And Wrexham are angry at that. The complaining is to the ref, and the ref can't do anything. It's a matter of courtesy, isn't it? But
yeah, it is, but that's known in football, is that we kicked it out for their player as much as our player.
Yeah.
And so they get the treatment, they get to go off, but then they get possession of the ball. That's not right.
No, absolutely. It's you don't see that very often, do you?
You don't.
The Southampton fans were applauding it, of course. Mind you, I'm sure Wrexham fans would if Wrexham did it. But corner, an in-swinger. Parkinson's still angry as the referee's just intervening, but shoving in the goal mouth. So, with 17 minutes left, Wrexham 1 up, corner beyond the far post, headed in towards goal. Good take by Ward. You'd expect him to save it, but was such a good, well-timed stretch. He can catch it rather than put a hand on it and push it over.
Yeah, his first contact by Southampton again. Stevens, right down his throat. Good hands. I don't think Wardy has actually rolled it to any of our centre-halves today. Last year we were playing out, we're always looking to play out a little bit and try and get our wing-backs on it, movement, play into our strikers, etc. Whereas today we have just everything, we've gone long.
Wrexham on the attack, that's a nice looking ball by Longman. No one attacking the far post. Kakache arrives and now he's got to try and win a throw. Oh, he can nutmeg Fraser, who tackles back beautifully. Great work that by Fraser. Kakache now coming back, putting pressure on Fernandez. Great balance by him, holds the ball up. Beg your pardon, Robinson it was, but then Southampton give it away, and Hardy, good feet under pressure, finds O'Brien, he's shoved to the ground. Free kick, left hand side, 35 yards out.
He's very tidy with the ball, isn't he, O'Brien? I think they're speaking to a few of the other media guys that have watched training and been out in Australia and watched pre-season. Since he's come in, it's looked a little bit sharper. He's really good with the ball. He looks like a next level signing. Obviously Swansea disappointed to lose in Forest coming away, but I feel he needs a home now. He's played on loan a few seasons. He needs a home to settle in at, and hopefully we can give him that.
Here's O'Brien with the free kick then, pulled to the far post and headed into the goal mouth, headed clear. And can Damien Downs get onto it? No, but he impedes Matty James, and Southampton do win the ball back. Driven forwards early, looking for Downs. Headed away and brought down nicely by Cleworth in midfield. Wrexham being put under pressure by Archer, but Brunt gets rid. But Archer at least has forced a hurried clearance. Ball driven long and Archer chasing once more. Cleworth having to be quick as he's barged into. He does really well, Cleworth, there. I thought in the first half there were just little moments where Cleworth was getting outmanoeuvred, or players are just able to get at him with skill. I mean, don't blame him for that when Fraser's going at him, but he's settled well second half.
Well, if you have a development plan on paper for any player, then
oh, O'Brien is one-on-one with the keeper. Brilliant burst. Can he get the shot off? Stevens is there. He goes down in the box. And he's gone down a bit easily, I think, although it was a dangerous position for Stevens to make the challenge from. And I just wonder if the ref would have given that if he hadn't given the first one, quite frankly. But wow, it would have been a red card as well. Oh, no double jeopardy anymore. Forgot the rules. But wow, what a big moment that was.
Yeah, he was through on goal. I just felt he'd looked over his shoulder a second too late to know where he was, because if he gets across him a little bit earlier, then I don't think Stevens can do anything about it. But his touch takes him and he's a little bit late, so that's what gives Stevens the chance to just get an arm across. Yeah, and the touch, if he touches it to his right, probably wants to get it on his favoured left foot. If he takes it on his right, then Stevens can't do anything about it. But that touch there takes it so that Stevens can get that leg across and defend it. I don't think that's a penalty for me.
No, absolutely. Free kick to Southampton now, lofted in towards the area, but pulled it accurately and headed clear by Hardy. Straight back to the taker, Fernandez, who dinks it in again to the edge of the area. Good header clear once more. Again, Southampton gets that second ball as Wrexham are deep. Fernandez once more, out wide to Fraser. 13 minutes left. Fraser stands it up to the far post. There's a lot on that. Goal kick. Again, Kwashi imploring a penalty. I've got to say, as he then barges into
Smith,
who's complaining. I mean, I feel for me, when you get this many silly penalty shouts and free kick shouts, the ref really ought to be given yellows. I mean, his shirt, there's a hand on his shirt, but you don't get those given.
No, he is goal side of him. He does pull his shirt.
It's poor defending, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I don't think he has to go down, though. I think he's all right. I think he can carry on and maybe try and put it in the net.
And like you say, the O'Brien one is not a penalty. There's thigh-to-thigh contact. I thought that was a 70s disco on the eye-to-eye contact. Edwin Starr, Isaac Hayes. But it's in the act of trying to make a challenge, as Bardi does well to bring the ball down, but then is robbed by Charles, who has just been roaming around with great energy in the middle of the pitch. He's again now sweeping it across to the right-hand side for Edwards, who crosses the halfway line. Fraser is stretching the pitch on that side. He pings it across to the other side. Oh, he looks up to give a time check. It's only 1 minute on from when I last gave one. Flaming hell. Southampton have got another change lined up. Ross Stewart, as the ball is fed inside by Fraser, and Fernandez makes a bit of space in midfield, measures the ball in for Robinson, who gets past the clumsy tackle by Dobson, and that's a free kick to Wrexham on the edge of the area. Again, fury from Southampton. I mean, Dobson could have fouled Fernandez, but I don't think he made enough contact on him, and then that is a free kick. So
I'm not sure if the ref's well liked inside this stadium.
I don't think he is, no.
By the majority.
No. I'd say in general he's done well, to be fair. I mean, I would say that, but...
Well, yeah, just looking at Ross Stewart coming on for Edwards, that'll be a definite change in formation, I would have thought. Fraser going back into a back four. But Southampton have the problem of they're used to losing. Last year, they're used to losing a lot of games, and trying to change that mentality in a pre-season is very, very difficult. We had it at Coventry. We played Sunderland when they had come down, and it was the thing that we were saying most is get on them, because if you do and you get ahead, then they're used to losing. They're not used to coming back in games. These look a little bit different because I think Will Still, a new manager, that changes the dynamic in the mind, but still it's still in deep in these players that they didn't win a lot of games last year.
Well, they are really pushing it now. You know, Fraser is nominally a right back, but is playing as a right wing back, really, as the ball's clipped in the box. Nice ball then, pulled by Stewart, but it's still dangerous. The ball ricochets around until a no-nonsense clearance by Kakache launches out for a throw on the halfway line. Wrexham will take that. Fraser quickly back to take it. And he receives the ball on the right. We are finally into the last 10 minutes. And Robinson tries to cut inside. Good challenge again by Brunt. Throw level the edge of the area. Right hand side. The return ball is not good, and O'Brien has been chasing everything and gets a foot in. Throw into Southampton once more. Kwashi will try his looping long throw once more. The Southampton fans like the look of that.
It's no Tozer though, is it?
No, true enough. Here he is then. It's more of a Curtis Obeng, should we say?
Yeah, good.
Like I said, got a good run up here. There's a good distance for him to build up some steam. He steps up. That's got more distance on that than the first half one's. Headed away well, though, by Smith. It'll come back in again, clipped in. Header goes up in the air, edge of the area. Good leap to get the ball partly clear. Again, this time by Brunt. And it falls on the right flank. Longman couldn't bring it down. Maybe he should have done. And again, the pressure comes. 82nd minute. That's a good ball to the edge of the box, and Robinson just twisting and turning, goes away from goal. Oh, good defending again. Wrexham staying on their feet. Longman standing up. Again, Robinson goes down easily. Play continues. Wrexham come out with the ball. It's flashed long. Hardy will chase that. He's got no chance of getting ahead of Kwashi, but he can at least force the clearance. And now it's Bazunu. Well, I said in the first half, Hasenhüttl used as a third centre-back. So good with the ball at his feet. Is now standing out there and waiting outside his box. He wants to get involved if they have to. He wants to get that ball into the Wrexham half as soon as he can. Wrexham dropping off to the edge of the box as the cross comes in once more. Dangerous one, and a little flick on. I think it was Brunt again, just flicks it away. Fraser keeps it in by the corner flag, pulls it back. First time cross by Fernandez, takes a deflection. Good take by Ward under the bar.
Well, Ross Stewart's just offered a different dynamic again. Two strikers, so it's a different thing for the central three of our back three, if you like. But with Ross Stewart pulling off that back post, Brunt just gets a couple of strands of hair on it, just to take it off his head.
Here comes Southampton once more. And down the left-hand side, Manning pulling it back into midfield. Wrexham's midfield again, dropping off a bit deep. Smith drops off to join them. Cross comes in. And it's ricochets off Brunt, bouncing around in the box, half clears, and then O'Brien is there, no nonsense, tries to clear the roof of the stand. Now, that's not as big an achievement as it used to be in the National League days.
Well, I'm surprised we haven't seen McLean. I'm surprised we haven't seen George Evans or Elliot Lee. Just somebody to either get on the ball or somebody just with a bit more energy to try, because at the moment we are just... Yes, Southampton haven't really, in the last 5 minutes, they've looked to put it in the box, and we are all right with that, with three of our centre-halves in the middle of in between the posts. We can possibly deal with that, but it's when they start to play in and around our box is when we have our issues, because we just haven't got any energy to get about these Southampton players.
And as if by magic, here's McLean. And like you said, I think Wrexham need to show that energy, that ability to get around and be competitive without the ball. And it is Kakache who just went down then, but got up without treatment, who's coming off. McLean comes on.
So it's 5 subs, isn't it, Mark? It's from the 9, but 9 on the bench, is that right?
Yeah, but we've used 3 windows now, haven't we? So that's it in terms of the changes we can make. So this is the finishing 11. This will see us through. As Fernandez now works it to the right. Fraser's first chance to have a go at McLean. Wrexham fans singing McLean, one of the many McLean songs, as he gets a good foot in. Concedes a throw by the corner flag. Kwashi is saying, hold on, I want to take another throw. Yes, first half ones were loopy near post affairs. That last one actually had a lot more distance on it.
Penalty spot, didn't it? That last one, he must have the wind behind.
So here he is at the end of his run-up once more. Every outfield player in the box or the D, apart from Bazunu, who's up in the centre circle. Kwashi slings it in. Ward, good work. Comes and takes it. I mean, like I said, it dropped middle of the box and Ward takes it well.
Yeah, well, off the last one, I think Ward has just eyed it up a little bit because he knows it's not coming in flat, so it's not a problem from that angle. It's more whereabouts, and it was a little bit closer to his penalty spot last time. This time it was less. It was just in between the spot and he's a free run at it, really, and he's able to go and collect it. Good catch. $30,970 is the crowd, as here now is a chance for a break from Turner, and puts it in the box. Dangerous touch by Longman, but he got away with it as it bounced across the face of goal. Now Bryan putting great pressure on, is a little unlucky to be penalised there. He won the ball back, and if it hadn't been given a foul, there would have been a 2-on-1 break, as there is Southampton taking it quickly from the wrong place, put the ball in the box, and it ricochets across to Fraser on the right. Early cross in headed towards goal, but off target. Never any real control on that for Robinson. It was difficult to end behind him. Wrexham will be happy with that. Parky's screaming at Hardy or Smith, I think, to try and give him some information. Whether that's a change in who's picking up from a set piece or who's got to drop in out of possession and who deals with the fullback coming forward.
The fourth officials on the sides of the pitch with this board. And we've used, like I said, you get 3 windows. We've used them, surely. So I don't know what's going on there, but he's just premature about added time as Smith tries to bring the ball down. Oh, this ricochet through. Hardy 1-on-1 with the keeper. Can he finish? No! Great save, that.
That is one unbelievable save. How he's got through, I'm not really sure, but it's fell to him. His touch is good. He's never quite under control with it. He ends up hitting it. Doesn't quite catch it. He gets across Kwashi. That's a brilliant save, because that's rolling in the corner and it's a fingertip around it, and he punches the air. Basunu, that's just kept his team in it.
Hell of a save that, isn't it? Yeah, Hardy, like I say, improvising, making the best of a ball that wouldn't be tamed. Hit it into the ground and it was rolling and perfectly placed. Anyway, corner, McLean got a big ovation. Sweeps it in dangerously. Kwashi heads it away. McLean keeps it in. Dobson in support. receives it. Back to McLean, level the edge of the area, a little step over. Dobson once more. Wrexham happy here until Dobson plays a left-footed delivery in. It wasn't the best. A little cute little dummy lets it carry through to Brunson. He swings his foot at it and puts it well over from outside the box.
Yeah, but that was a gilt-edged chance. We've had two, with O'Brien getting through on goal. So actually the better chances possibly fell to Wrexham in this game, but as much as possession as Southampton have had and how much we've had to dig in and defend in this second half.
Southampton come forward once more. Stevens up on the edge of the area in open play trying to join in here because Wrexham get everyone back defending. Dobson gets a foot in, free kick in a shooting position, possibly central. At 25 yards out, Wrexham are not happy with the free kick decision. Dobson still complaining, and O'Brien. But
yeah, it's from behind.
Yeah,
kicks him on the back of the leg.
Well, Manning immediately grabbed hold of the ball, left-footed striker of the ball. Wrexham have got a four-man wall just inside the D as we're entering the final minute of the 90. A four-man wall with a runner. There's no one else to tee the ball up though, so actually yeah, it's a five-man wall. O'Brien's part of it as well. Ward lining it up. Can Manning pull something out here? As he waits for the go-ahead, ref blows his whistle. Manning, good strike. Oh, what a goal! Well, that is quality. You can't argue about that. Manning with a brilliant free kick. Wall side, right inside the post. Ward had no chance, and that's a brilliant Premier League finish.
Well, that's the quality that you're facing from situations like that, just outside the box. If he placed a few free kicks in training, that would be where he'd take it from. And it's just that, as you're looking down the pitch, the left-hand side, he can just whip it over the wall and take it away from Wardy. And he does that beautifully, and it's into that side netting, and Ward no chance, and 1-1.
Wonderful free kick, 6 minutes of added time, and Wrexham need to dig in to make sure now that we get something from this game. As here the Southampton roar. On the right hand side, Fraser is available as the ball instead is fed centrally, flicked on by Robinson. Was Fraser caught? Ref gives it, and then McLean shoves Fernandez. Fernandez goes down rather theatrically. Southampton players mob McLean. I mean, Fernandez has made a drama of it, but it was daft of McLean to react like that. And the referee is now calling him across. Well, he's been pretty judicious with his yellow cards, and it's another yellow for Wrexham.
Well, for starters, I don't think McLean has to make the tackle first and foremost. If he stands up when the ball goes out, he's not going anywhere off the back of it. Gives the free kick away, and then I don't know why he's getting involved and pushing.
Yeah, Fernandez gets in his face, he shoves him in the chest. Six added minutes, and Wrexham have to dig in already. McLean on a yellow now. I mean, he was really committed to challenge, was never going to get there. I think Fraser was intelligent enough to see that and make sure that they made contact, didn't he? But listen to this noise now. Wrexham defending a line on the penalty spot. The free kick on the right-hand side. Fernandez on it. Ref gives the go-ahead. Again, everyone up for Southampton. Floated in towards the penalty spot, flicked on. And it'll go behind, will it? Well, they want a corner. Referee gives it. Smith came across, gave the block. He thought, but he was rather slow.
It's gone out.
Yeah.
But still, under pressure. Get a lock onto your man. Don't let your man score. The three players in there, Smith, Dobson, go and head the ball.
4 of the 6 added minutes left. This drama-packed match. Lots of movement on the edge of the area. Corner comes in, volleyed away at the near post easily. Wrexham clear out of the box as Bazunu is involved now. Feeding it forwards. Fernandez over the top. Looking in the air because the centre-backs have stayed up there. It's flicked on, but well brought down by Longman, who clears, and again it'll come back at Wrexham. I feel that's something we're going to have to address. Although this has been a terrific performance, don't get me wrong. Southampton drive forwards once more. Wrexham in that mid-block, but you can see the midfield is ready to drop off, and it has to. Nearly 3 added minutes of the 6 played now, and the noise ringing around St Mary's again. Cross comes in to the edge of the box, skips up in the air, flicked on. Again, Ward is there. Very quick making his mind up when to commit, isn't he?
Yeah, and he wasn't able to take it up above his head either. He had to come and catch it chest high. But a good little deflection there that lifted it up into the box, and Wardy made his decision early.
Long kick by him and misjudged. Smith in the box, holding on to it. Left hand side, tries a shot, can't get on target. There wasn't much on for him, to be fair, though Hardy was there, but worth having a go.
Yeah, he tried to fire it across the box, I think. I don't think he's shooting from there, but he had nobody up in support with him. I don't think any of the Wrexham players have any thoughts of trying to score by rather than Smith.
So here's Southampton again, delivering into the box. Cody under it, gets ahead to it. Will that be a corner? Yes, it will. McLean, rather, beg your pardon. And the constant pressure builds and builds. We've listed so much of it, but can we see this out? Again, every outfield player in and around the Wrexham box. Again, the noise is deafening.
Don't give anything away. Don't give any stupidity of a hands up or anything. Just go and head the ball.
It'll be an in-swinger once more. Fernandez high to the far post, headed towards goal, blocked on the line, and ricochet for a goal kick. Ooh, that first contact from a Southampton head was dangerous. Well, Stevens was at the far post.
It was Stevens, yeah. He's headed it back. It's hit the back of Fraser. Nearly bounced to Archer, but he just can't react quick enough.
Wow, that was lucky. But Wrexham as Ward again just takes his time. The Wrexham fans looking to sing the team home. It's 1-1 here at St Mary's. Wrexham's return to the second tier. What a day this has been. Can Wrexham get an excellent result, as Wrexham managed to bring the ball down in midfield just about. Dobson lays it back, Cleworth over the top, and that'll go out for the throw.
Well, that's exactly where we can make a pass, because we've had it between. I know that they've got not a great deal in the legs left, but that's where we certainly can make a little pass or two and just try and keep the ball away from our goal.
So here we are, 35 seconds of the added 6 left. Southampton coming forwards. Sloppy ball by Kwashi, just takes 10 seconds out of the move, because Southampton players on the halfway line had to work with their back to goal. Long diagonal by Charles, is a brilliant ball in. Chance here, driven across the face, and it's in. Southampton with 14 seconds left win the game. Absolutely incredible pandemonium here. The wonderful diagonal just opened Wrexham up, and whether it was an own goal or whether or not, as it ricocheted around in the goal mouth, Southampton have got that win, and that's cruel on Wrexham.
Well, it's so cruel, but it's the diagonal that does it. Longman's just underneath it, he doesn't read it really well, and it's dropped over his head. I think it is Archer that runs in on that wing, puts the ball in. You think you've got away with it because the chance is missed, but then it's back post, put back across. So unfortunate.
A hell of a diagonal. A Longman can't reach it. And Archer can't reach it when it looks like a tap in. It carries through.
Should have scored anyway.
And the shot hits the bar, and although it hits the defender line, Stevens up there.
Post.
Wow. Well, I mean, fair play to Southampton. They've shown us what quality they have. But having said that, Wrexham have been heroic defensively, as free kick given to Wrexham after Brunt tries to drive forwards, is tripped. Yellow card is given to Archer.
Well, Southampton have just kept at it and kept at it, and they've probed and probed. They haven't really created a great deal, but Wrexham have stood firm. But then in this last 10 minutes, it's just been backs to the walls, and we've been unable to get out at all.
Ward knocks the free kick long, but it's cleared, and now a chance for a breakaway on the left, and the player's over here, but it's played in towards Downs. I know that's a very good decision, but there is the final whistle, and well, Will Still going crazy on the side of the pitch. His first game in charge, and he has won the game in the most dramatic circumstances. But Wrexham, well, a heroic effort by us, and I don't think anybody could look at us and say we're going to struggle in this league looking at that. Although we were under so much pressure, our defence stood up to it until the end, when a glorious diagonal opened us up. Wrexham leading for much of the match after Kiefer Moore won a penalty which Josh Windass drilled home. Southampton came back, chances of both teams. Southampton though dominant in the second half and the second part of the first half. Equalised late on, and then got that winner through Jack Stevens, a great finish from a tight angle. Wrexham punished, but well, a lot Wrexham could take from it.
Yeah, absolutely, but it hurts. You're in the game for so long. Yes, the second half, it wasn't pretty to watch, but Wrexham, as they have done so many times, have dug in. But if you give teams like this that much possession, then they're going to get chances. And when we had our chances, we weren't able to take them, and it can come back to bite you. I think a draw would have been a fairly fair result today, but Southampton have taken it, and it's hard. They've just got to pick themselves up, take the positives out of it. We have to be better with the ball. We have to be able to take the ball and keep it a little bit and cause problems. But saying that, Lewis O'Brien's had a half chance, Ryan Hardy's had a chance, and Bakuna's made an unbelievable save to keep him in it. And so you have to look at it, take the positives and move on. And I'm sure we'll see a completely different 11 on Tuesday, but you've got to look forward in our first home game in the Championship. But like you said, a lot of positives to take.
100%. And as Parkinson led the players over, despite the terrific noise in here, you could hear the Wrexham fans across the pitch. They've stayed to the end, and they're proud of what their team has achieved. I mean, it must be said, 89th minute, we're winning 1-0. A fabulous free kick by Ryan Manning from 25 yards out, which Ward had no chance with. I mean, that was championship quality right there. And then a glorious diagonal to open us up. The ball driven across the face. Stevens with an impossible angle managed to put it in off the bar. And fair play, we're up against good players, and they managed to make 2 moments count.
But we'd absolutely emptied the tank. The lads have given everything for the cause today in difficult conditions. After not an easy pre-season as well, they were like out on their feet. And so to be able to get on the ball and to maintain that possession, that's so difficult when you've been working so hard to just keep the ball out of your net. I think Southampton have got away with one today, really. Like I say, I think a point would have been a fair result for everybody all round, but we don't. We dust ourselves down and we have to go again.
Exactly so. I mean, having another game on Tuesday is a good thing, although there's bound to be a lot of rotation, especially with no Virtue Trophy this season to give squad members a game. But as the players are making their way, the Wrexham players off the pitch now, a losing return to League One, but I think one that shows that we've got the structure and the players to make an impact. I just think that ability to retain the ball after a spell of pressure is something we just need to work on a bit. Absolutely. Because we defended exceptionally well, but defended too much.
But we weren't particularly good at that last year. We defended for our lives a lot of last year as well, and that ball-playing central midfielder that we're really desperate for, that will take it in any circumstances and be able to just keep it for us. Only for a couple of passes, that's all it takes just to give our team a breather. We just need to have a little bit more bravery, I suppose, and just believe that we are capable at this level to play against these types of teams.
Still is milking it with his players, as he quite rightly should. I mean, as he says, they've had that losing mentality. Well, to win a game like this, that's a big win for them, regardless of how they play. It could be
season defining, because he's had to turn around a huge ship here. You know, literally turn it around from losing particularly every game last season to coming into a dressing room with a new manager and to find a way and find a will to come and still keep going in that last few minutes to get that win. You know, that's a huge result for them, and that'll give them huge confidence moving forward for the rest of the season.
Well, defeat to start off the season, and in the most galling manner, and yet you can't help feel that was a performance that gives you a lot of optimism going into the campaign. We've spent well, and you can see that on the pitch. Wrexham, unfortunate, but it's a pleasure to be back with Andy and Mia. It's a pleasure to be back in the second tier, and Wrexham will be fine, no fear. There you go. I'm a poet at least I haven't lost that ability. With a final score of Southampton 2, Wrexham 1, we've been Mark Griffiths, Andy Morrell and Mia Roberts.